Good morning and welcome to today's live show. We do see some interesting things out there, but last night we were talking about how the bears take back control. As you have just seen a new high, you have seen a dictated higher low. We need to be paying attention to the fact that we did just make a new high. We did just make a higher low. So is that overall bearish? No, 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 it's not. Just like my daughter would say, she goes, no, 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 no. And nope, it is not. The way for this to go bearish is you have to lose this and prove to us that we are heading lower. How does the market like to prove itself? Well, it likes to break through a critical level, then it likes to retest that level, then it would like to reject again. And this would be the market proving itself in that it wants to go lower. And if you're failing all of this right now, then most likely we are going to go see some kind of filling of these gaps. But none of that is happening yet. That's why last night we were serious in saying this is something to react to because this pullback could be done right now. You probably heard me say that a few times last night. This pullback could be done right now, right? We dipped back down into the block. So if we come back down into this, that's all you really need to go higher. It's just you're leaving behind some key things down in these areas. So very, very nice. I think that we do have the opportunity, and I think it is probable to see this. If we're not going to squeeze right away, we could see that pull all the way down to 558.96. 558.96. And this is where I really wanted to look at the put call levels for the day. Pull that up real quick. Because 570 to the upside, very important. And look where we get to, 570, right? This is why we said, really, the sell was 568. Okay, but 570 is what we think will at least get tested. 570 gets tested, and that's fantastic. Now you're looking for that moment to blow through 570. You do have an extreme amount of bearishness. You do see, from these put levels, you'll just see bam, 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 just all these huge readings down here towards the put side. People really trying to YOLO catch some kind of crash moment. 550, the key point to pay attention to, 565, 560. Look at that, 560 and 555. So you start to ramp it up. So it's kind of like this, and we treat it like this. Hey, yeah, this can be support. This one can be a little bit better support. This one can be a little bit better support, with 550 being the best. So you could make it all the way down there. I don't think you're going to do that for today. I think you pay attention to the first point that makes the most sense. That to me would be, we're taking back 565. We're still pinned below what? 570, which is the first call wall. And if we stay pinned in there, look for the reach down to grab that liquidity towards 560. That would be fantastic to see, almost like this kind of shapes up for us throughout the next few trading sessions. That would be fantastic. We'll have to find out. For now, you have a MACD that is curled not even down in positive territory, not even overbought readings for the time being. But we do see the risk, right? We do see the risk here, so we're going to treat it very seriously. If we start to see the signs that this is breaking down, we will let you know. As of right now, we do not see those signs. And the very easy way to do it, break that low. Q's, similar boat, right? Break the low. Tell us you're going to break the low, then you're going lower. And then if you don't hold up at around 475 or that zone, that retest, right? That retest down in here, if you don't hold up in these type of areas and you go do a reaction like this guy over here, that's going to be a big problem, because that's going to open the door to all that downside. So you really don't want to lose this low right now if you're a bull. You can come revisit these levels later. You just need probably more upside so that you can get a pullback into this area, maybe after Opex or right before Opex. But you see it here, the 2 hour, even curled up for just a second there and then curled right back down. Now, this is on the last bar of the day, so it's not like the best one in the world. But the reason we're paying attention to these divergences that have formed is because of volatility, right? Volatility showing the 2 hour divergence where by 2151. Remember when we talked about that? Hey, what are we doing? Hey, where are we going, Luke? Where are we going, Luke? Well, we're probably going to go see this make its way down towards 2151 with some 2 hour what? Some 2 hour pops. 2 hour pops. 2 hour pops that always do what? Fail. They always fail. Fail, 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 right? You need that to continue if you want to continue squeezing, or else you're at the risk of turning up a daily chart for the VIX, which means you're turning down a daily chart for the SPY, right? So we're just acknowledging and explaining how we could break down, because you do have some things that say this thing could pop off on the volatility side, but you're not there yet with price, right? That's something that you as a trader, you want to get used to, is if you're going to try to read into the future at all, which I think you should, because the market overall reads into the future all the time. If you're going to do those type of things, what do you need? Well, you need a good head on your shoulders, because you have to realize none of that has happened yet. These are all things to react to. You don't want to react to something that hasn't even happened yet, because you're building it up in your head as this big bearish narrative when something very bullish is happening in front of you. Let the bearish thing show itself in the price, and then you can get bearish, bearish, bearish. It's fine to be aware of it before. Well, guys, hopefully you're ready for a good day. I've got my coffee ready for me today. I've got a lot of things I'm looking at over here, and one of those was still the Apple thing. Amazon, I'm very interested to see what happens with Amazon. I do not like these signals from Amazon. This says to me weakness, but we haven't confirmed it yet. That's one, right? We have not, if you're looking at the 2-hour chart, all you see is a high, a higher low. A new high, so a higher low, a higher high. If you make a higher low, you just got to ruin these divergences. You got to see something good. So let's hope maybe the China thing can help out Amazon. Maybe Trump. I heard Trump, there was rumors of him possibly saying that he was going to cut the China tariffs in half from 140 or somewhere around 145% to like 80%. That would overall give Amazon, I believe, some relief. That would give Apple some relief and be able to curl up this 2-hour and at least show us, are you going to make the lower high? Are you going to surge forward and start to build back over time, right? We need to see this good news for names like Apple and Amazon for sure. Tesla, no serious breakout yet, but look at that. This is why I was saying this isn't necessarily like bearish. This is actually bullish right now, and it would remain bullish even if you did this. And then you see that explode through. Why? You're still positive. In order to break down, you got to lose the low, right? And then you got to see that reaction into it to see if it gets rejected. That's what happens most of the time. Now, if you get extremely bad news, that's when you see that waterfall, and then you'll realize it comes back to dink it later and then go down deeper, okay? You'll almost like, I would say like, at 80% of the time, I would say, this is a guesstimation. This is not hard data, by the way. I just want to say that before I throw out probabilities. In my trading, I've realized that retests here's the way to put it. Retests will happen more times than not. Retests will happen in these little zones on the 30-minute, especially more times than not. Whether it's right away or whether it's breaking down completely, comes back on some kind of almost like they would probably call it like almost like a bear market rally, like a big dead cat bounce, and then it rejects again, okay? So don't think if you're missing out, say you didn't find the calls in here, say you were like this, you weren't paying attention to us saying watch for that 5-minute to just curl up, that's your opportunity, and boom, it goes up there. Hey, if you're not holding those calls this way, perfectly fine, be patient. I think let the market set something up for you. I don't think this is the last time we'll be here, and make sure you're subscribed for Saturday's video, because on Saturday we're going to talk about the opportunity. Now, you might have to be patient if you really want to wait this long, but if this is going to be upside, where's the opportunity? Well, the opportunity is going to be here or here, and then we curl back up. We'll look for failure there too, right? We're going to be here talking about these things during all that time. Right? So if something fails in here, we're going to tell you about it, because you don't want to fail through these levels. But if you do, right? Let's say we fail right now and we do that bad rollover thing. Ooh, retest. Ooh, we go down, 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 down. Where's the opportunity? Well, it's right here. Or down here. We just might have to be patient and look for those signs, right? Those signs that this thing wants to turn back around. Okay, so don't ever think like you're missing out. Markets move up and markets move down. The moves down are what you want to be paying attention to now, because now you're in a market where it's kind of like, hey, buy that dip, sell that rip. You're starting to peek your head into that kind of market, right? You see it right here. Rip it. Okay, sell that off. Then make the higher low, rip it. All right, sell that off. All right, rip it, sell it off, right? All right, cool. Let's get into the chat today. Sorry, I just wanted to talk about some things this morning. I know it might not be exactly what you guys like when I just look at some charts and things like that. We're about to open up, but thank you guys so much. RIP Wolf. Oh no, Wolfie boy. Oh shoot, I'm sorry about that. Good morning. Thank you so much, Sebastian, for the 3:30 p.m. over here in Germany. Guten Tag. I don't even know what that means, to be totally honest. Danke. Danke schön for watching my YouTube channel. I don't know. I don't speak much German. My German soccer teammate maybe could have helped me out with that. But I played with him when I was like 18. Oh, there you go. Guten Tag. There you go. Okay, it means good day. All I know is I used to talk about that with the people the Germans I used to market for. So what should we be looking for today, right? If I'm in nothing today, what should I be looking for, right? Well, if I want to catch a trade, if I'm a little shorter term trader, I'd be looking for what? I'd be looking for retests, right? I'd be looking for the retest back into here this morning. I'd be looking for the retest back into here this morning, right? It's as simple as that. All right, very, very, very simple. If I'm, say, still holding on to longs, what should I be watching out for? Well, if we lose this low, right? If you want an extended stop or something like that, this low would probably be fantastic because once you get there, oof, it doesn't look too pretty. You're hoping that that gap holds you up, and man, that's a lot of faith in a gap. Why is Bitcoin still going with it over 90? Because people are still buying it. If people continue to buy something, it will keep going. Now you're going to get a retest, though. You know where you're going to retest right now? You're going to maybe even retest that 98.366. Look at this wick, too. Boom. Rejects. Blows through it. We do that little stair stepper where you kind of just like... So in here, price action actually makes sense. That's what's funny. If you really dig into it, you broke out, you created a little block, you see it? And where'd that come into? It came into the block as support, see the next move higher. So what's probably going to happen here is you're going to use something in here to most likely head higher. Maybe you get lucky, you flag out a little bit, right? We're trying to do that little stuff right now. See how it's trying to remain higher. But I think this will give up. I think it'll end up doing something like this, maybe to 100K. With that wick maybe coming down into here and then turn up. So if I was really just being simple with it though, Bitcoin 2 hour extremely overbought, right? Starting to see those inclinations of kind of down now, right? Pointing down while everything's going up. So you're going, okay, let me look for the opportunity, right? Let me look for the opportunity. Right? Or maybe it just flashes down and curls right back up and you see it like this. Bam. That's a simple way to think about it. Swing trade, right? If you look at the 4 hour chart, that's overbought as well. So this could be a bigger retest than you would really like. But what did we never really retest? We never retested this. We never retested this. So if you wanted to see some kind of dump, you'd probably come into this 96.5. And then you'd curl up if it's going to be more extended. So that's how I see it right now. But remember, everything's pointing that way. Everything is pointing up right now. SPY 30 minutes. If you guys like those 5-minute charts, I don't mind looking at those. Does Nvidia have a wonky inverse head and shoulders? I think Nvidia does have a wonky look to it. I think Nvidia needs to retest this before it goes higher. I really do. I'm not the happiest with this look from Nvidia, but I understand it's bullish, right? You can't tell me that this critical level that you rejected off of once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, and then you break through it. By the way, look at this over here. Bam. This is why this level is so important, so important, so important. And then when you lose it, bad things. So you want to keep this level. What I'm suggesting is retest into the top of this. Bam. Just dink your head off of it. I think that could get you a lot of steam. Grab that liquidity for a moment, and I think that's what really could get you up towards that 122.5. I'm not bearish on this. If you're looking for the daily scale, that's where you'd be talking about that inverse head and shoulders. That would be the reaction to 122. It would start with potentially the reaction to 122 or past it, and then we use this level as support later. Right? We've been talking a lot on this channel throughout 2024 and 2025 about right shoulders that could have been. You always want to consider the fact that you can come down and retest things. Always. Even if you see this surge up all the way up into like 133, 135, look for that to come back down to these type of levels. This is a very critical level to just break through without retesting it, at least on a 30-minute. is very improbable to me. But, you know, it can happen. I'm just saying it's a critical level. You just broke out of it and you're not going to retest it at all. Like while you're potentially seeing divergences and things like that. It's just like, I don't know about that. Keys going up. I don't see a lot of retracements. Let me look at daily scale for Bitcoin. No, the shelf kind of saves you from having to see a retrace type of move. If you're looking for a retrace, it's in the current move most likely. I don't believe you see this if this is what you're saying. I think you could extend. I would like you to extend, and then I'd like you to do this, or I'd like you to pull all the way down into, probably not in the bottom here, probably not all the way into the bottom here. You probably want to hold up better. I think you want to do something like this or this to go higher after we get here. Right? I'd like at least a reaction to 106.212. But that could take a few days to get there, right? It doesn't have to happen like today, right? Look at the 2 hour. It looks like it's going to extend, right? So this right here up in this area could not even get tagged until like what? Next week, next Wednesday. It could do this, then go like that. Bam. Then you come back down into here. I think you want that test down into here, but I don't think you're going to get some kind of massive retrace, like massive. Like I don't think you're going to see, oh, it ripped up to here, and then you're going to see it like this. I don't think you'll see that. I think it'll hold up better in some way. Which I guess this could be considered your retrace moment. I guess, yeah, yeah, I guess that would be considered the retrace. I wonder what it would be from the bottom to the top here. Would it land you somewhere pretty good? I'm going to put it at the top of the zone. Yeah, see, this would be too much. I think you want to hold up right here. But hey, remember when we said Bitcoin has triple divergence and now Bitcoin's at 100K? Daily charts, man, sometimes they're just simpler and you just go, oh yeah, triple divergence. All right, invest in that for a little bit. Walk away from my computer, touch grass. Ethereum, if it's at all got to look like a big upward move on the daily scale that's now getting to the potential overbought areas, then you're waiting for retracements, and then you look for those zones where it wants to retrace to. You can pull up a fib level to see if you get a lot of confluence in one area. Shoot, I gotta drink some coffee. Volatility, again, breaking down. Do you want these to fail? You want these to fail? You want these to fail? We'll watch out for the reaction at 2151, though. If we get to 2151, we'll watch out. I think we're going to see further squeezing into Opex, but I think there will be a potential pullback still coming, especially if we get the upward move today. If we get like a surge today. All right, surge today. You're leaving behind two gaps now. I think you want to fill these too. I think if they want to run it next week, the better thing to do would be show you upside in the morning, pull it down in the afternoon, then see that go in the upward direction, show some volatility. I think that would be interesting. Wonder what Tony's thinking today. Tesla is soaring. Was it able to break out? Perfect. Awesome. That's what we like to see. Good job for Tesla. Nice, nice, nice. Left behind a gap, so be aware of that. You still can do what now? When we were talking about breaking down, you would retest in and then break, right? So if I'm missing this and I look at the 2 hour, it's almost overbought. And yeah, I think that could run all the way up to 310, by the way, before it does that, by the way. This would be a good thing. And we have daily expected moves for Tesla as well over on Patreon. But this is very, very nice. Very simple. 2 hour curled up. Nothing ever went wrong. Very simple at the end of the day, right? I don't like to trade Tesla personally. I like to pay attention to it, though. And you've built a lot in this area. Now you have to see, okay, if you get lucky, there might be some kind of retest into this area. And then you see if you can turn to that upside and get to that 328.50, maybe even by next Friday. That would be fantastic. Great job, Tesla. That is just the breakout, though. That's just the first little breakout there. You know, that's why we were saying pay attention. If it comes to the bottom side and goes up and takes back that center, that's how it goes this way. Very nice. Looking for 310. Maybe a retest first or after. It's actually not a bad thing to say, Rocky. You think it's a nice little change? Yeah, because my rules for a trade, my reasons for a trade, the type of trading that I do, the type of expiration, we could be completely different, right? So you have to make sure the things are there for your trade. 484, 492. Nah, Tony, we've been just going back and forth like all week, so I dig it. Here's to ever pull back at this point. It will. And just wait till 2027. just wait till 2027. you wanna pull back. Just I mean you probably don't want to wait till 2027. There's probably gonna be a lot of opportunities in between there. Apple working on 30-minute head and shoulders to the upside. Yeah, that's what I see too, Sebastian. Going back to look at Tesla chart, it always bottoms in April. Nice. IWM touched 200 today. Let's hope so. That's the target we wanted, right? We wanted IW. Ooh, we got there. Nice. So from all of this, we really wanted 200 just to fill the gap. Well, I mean, obviously it was above 200, but you get the idea. Down in these areas, we were like, we really need to get to 200. You haven't even made it through the center point yet, really. You need to see a closing potentially above these highs. Always aware that, like, hey, the signals here, they look like trash, right? These do not look good for IWM. I think IWM is a good hint if you're going to see the weakness play out. You're not seeing it play out. So that should tell you something for the time being. See if it changes today. I don't know. IWM. I mean, if you really get good news, what's 214 look like? What does 214 look like for IWM? Okay. That would be the overreaction. All right. Down. Okay. Interesting. How do we tell if you're in a bear or bull market? You're not in a bear market. You're potentially going into the bull market. You're in the first stages of getting out of a correction and going back into that bear or that bull market. I apologize. Bear market, how do you know a lot about a bear market? A lot of the time, you can pull up a monthly chart. Where's my lines in the sand here? Or actually, sorry, where's my moving averages? Put all of them on. So a lot of what I like to do is say, hey, if we're holding up at all, like this is why this is considered still potentially not even a bear market, but I think in this scenario it is. So if you see wicks like this, you're normally not going to see that in bear market times, okay? You'll see wicks, but you won't see anything like that. That's kind of crazy. So actually, you are just at risk of seeing the bear market, to be totally honest with you. One more roll up and one more roll down, and you were definitely in bear market. You had bear market volatility, which is very, very cool, but at the same time, you didn't necessarily see it continue when it needed to continue. How this would have been a bear market wasn't it, how this would have told you it was a bear market would have more likely been this. And it's weird, but the main thing I equate to it is more actually something like Elliott Wave. I'm not an Elliott Wave guy, but this is how I think about it for potential bear market to actually get some kind of confirmation is a 5 push lower. a 5 push lower instead on the daily scale, right? So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 would be corrective. 5 is bear market, right? That's kind of how I would read into it. But it more was like, if we would have rolled over at this point, you had a chance to still be in a bear market. If you lose the low, make a new low, and then see the rally that makes the weekly lower high. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Getting mixed up on what you're in or what you're not in. I mean, it's good to be able to understand the market that you're in, but really you should just understand, hey, volatility is above 20, right? Just be like, hey, volatility is above 20. Okay, things are going to be risky. Now we're making those moves to come out of 20. This is the harder time to realize that we're shifting around how this market moves. And that's the main thing to say. It doesn't really, like, okay, like here's the thing. Here's what I'll say about this topic, because a lot of people ask these type of questions, and my whole thing is, what's important to your trading? Like, okay, so if you knew, when everyone said this was bear market, right? Notice we had pretty much what? Well, you would say maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I'm not a perfect Elliott wave guy. Flat 1, 2, 3, flat 4, right? But you got the 5. Okay, bear market. Does that help you? Like, you still had bear market volatility here. You still had bear market volatility here. You still had bear market volatility here until you went down to here. Now you're like, okay, we're bear market. Well, okay, but like, you should just understand when volatility is scaling up dramatically, and then you should understand how it continues, right? I would more so say, like, just knowing if something's a bear market is more just like, what's the trend look like? Are you in serious volatility? Okay, we're in serious volatility, so this looks like a bear market. This behaved like a bear market. Like, literally down here was bear market, except for this, right? But this right here was bear market to a T. Okay, but is it a bear market? No, but you still see that mainly bear market just tells me more volatile, bigger swing, like more traps, bigger percentages both ways. Got to be a little quicker with the trading. I don't think it's like super helpful. And if you want to see a bull market, that's pretty simple, right? We dictate a low, or a bull run at least, right? We finally dictate, yeah, we want to go higher, and you get that grind with the pullback grind, and then you start to head into a topping phase, right? You're more in this stage right now. You're still in this type of stage right now, and you're looking for potentially this part right here to happen. And then you're going to roll and see if that retest is able to hold you up. If it is, you're going to start that bull market, right? You're going to say, we are not going into higher volatility. I don't know. I just focus on things that are important. And people ask, like, are we in a bear market all the time? And it's like, I mean, like, if I had a checklist before a trade, would I be like, all right, MACD's curled up. I've got divergence on the R side at the same time. Volatility is high. We're in a bear market. Like, how does we're in a bear market, like, help me really? But you're not. And the way that I would treat it at this time is, like, if you roll over and go retest those lows from April, then you're at risk of being in a bear market. Are you just like sitting around like waiting for someone to tell you it's a bear? They literally changed the definition of a recession for you guys. Like, you realize that, right? Plus, if you get another negative reading of GDP, people will start to scream bear market. But are they gonna, like, that's what it is. Like, that's why you'll see every single time you see like a 20% or a 15% correction or even a 10% correction, everyone will ask if you're in a bear market. Because at the end of the day, a bear market can be defined, but each person can manipulate that definition a little bit. So it's not necessary, in my mind, you have better things to pay attention to, right? And if you just understand macros better and you understand, oh, volatility has come off from what to what, from 6D to 22, you're going to go, wow, okay, we're in a bear market, but we just kind of melted our way out of that. We're still above 20, so we could see a pop in volatility soon, but probably not like right now. We're still squeezing. I haven't seen the signal. I haven't seen the price action that tells me if this is breaking down. If anything, it just tells me it's just trying to make that topping look, right? In these type of moments, I throw out my bear hat and I just look at the market in the most bullish way possible and leave that 1%. That 1% is this guy. This is why I'm not going to short at all until I see us lose this low. If we lose this low, am I going to short here if this just drops like this? No, the 30-minute could be already extended. It could already be oversold. So I'm going to wait for what? That to roll. Then I can play down to probably 545. Then it's going to bounce. Then this is probably your biggest leg down right over here. Right? You have not seen that yet, so don't convince yourself something's bearish when you're seeing a bullish thing in front of you stand. The golden pocket thing, I don't utilize it very often, but in this, it's kind of this little sweet spot. It's kind of this little sweet spot between the 0.78 and the 0.68, or the 0.61. And really, it's just this little sweet spot that kind of gives you a little bit more than 50 to where it looks a little bit more bearish, but it's just an area that I pay attention to for some. Really, at the end of the day, for me, you know, Taw, maybe I need to sit down with Taw a little bit longer about fibs. But from what I learned about fibs, they didn't help my trading too much. What I would say about fibs is they can give you confidence in a move, in an area, right? So if I'm, say, okay, low to high, I want to look if this is retracing here. I can take that low, I can take the high, and it can give me a general area to pay attention to. And now I can say, is that in an area that I'm already paying attention to, like here? Okay, well, it takes me into what? The beginning stages of the gap fill, the block down here. Okay, so I can read into this general area a little bit more, right? It's more a confidence booster for me. But people literally use this to trade everything because, like, I mean, I've seen people be able to just trade stocks with nothing on their chart but fibs. And I think that's awesome. I personally haven't been able to solidify that into a strategy for myself. And I'll be 100% honest with you. Like, 100% honest, right? That's why you're not going to see me talking. I'll blow it up for a second to see if it gives me that more confidence in an area. Yeah, it's more, Sebastian, the way I would phrase it, it's more of a confirmation that the area that I'm going to pay attention to is important. So now we can see what? Well, according to the fibs, this is suggested to be a very important area. But I understand that I was already paying attention to this, which we already tested into, and this. So now that fib just gives me that, okay, filling the gap would really, really be a good retracement. The big pullback is most likely after Opex. Sometime I think you could see a mean pullback, like a 4-day 6% drop. Now I say that and people immediately go, "Oh, I wanna short for a 6% drop in the SPY." It doesn't have to play out that way. It can take a lot longer than that. Opex next Friday. Yeah, I want to see how things shape up. I want to see if I'll tell you if the short actually like sets up for it, but it would be a low position, like a low position size. But once you're down, the easier thing to do here is be patient for bullish trades. And then if you see the bearish thing prove itself, you wait for that bounce, that dead cat, and then you just go fucking ham on that, honestly. If you go down to 545 and you bounce up to like 555 and then you drop again, yeah, you short the fuck out of that. You're too fast. You guys are getting the word out there, and I think that's a good thing. Hopefully, we're continuing to be helpful to the new people coming in. Thank you, D Wiz, for subscribing. this morning, saw that. But the point here is just to be open to a bunch of ears, right? We will eventually move to where this is, more behind closed doors, at least, a couple of streams a week just to calm it down for a few days. Like, personally, I don't really like streaming during FOMC days and things like that. There's too many of those questions, but I think it's very helpful to stream on those days to let people know, like, you don't have to play those days. They're going to rip money away from you with what? A move down and then up, or a move up and then down. And then we say that and everyone bets it, and then everyone sees a downward move and goes, shoot, my calls went wrong. And then it goes, shoot, I would have been right. And then it pulls back and they go, shoot, I bought the high, right? It's just a day where you could be like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. I'm going to wait for the retest of here. I'm going to wait for the retest of here. Yeah, those type of days are rough. Opex has been very lackluster lately, so it's been pretty boring, actually. By Palantir. Go look at Palantir. How'd that thing do? Yeah, there's your potential roll. Oof. I think it can still gap fill here. Yeah, you did a lot of work here. Now, it has shown you the pathway down. Okay, it has shown you the pathway down. So if you want to end up here, what are you most likely going to do? You see this gap? You're probably going to see yourself testing in this. This is actually how you head higher. Yeah, that's actually how you head higher from what we see now. If you lose the low, yeah, you're going deeper, and then you're going to see the double swing down to $95 like we talked about. So what you're really thinking here is like, hey, do we see this dictated as a 2-hour higher low or lower high? Because you've done what? You've taken out all of these. You've taken out all of it. But as far as the 2-hour stands, if you can make a new high, you're back in trend. Right, you have done a lot of work here. That's why I'm kind of surprised by it. So if you get the 30-minute to take care of some business here and then use this to go up, I think that would be a great thing to go fill the gap and see if you make a new high. And then see if that new high is just a complete failure because we haven't gone down to 95 yet. You don't have to. We'll see how it builds up, but this is just going to be hell to trade now because you've broken these lows. And then you're looking like a lower high, but the 30-minute could literally just do this. And then it could make a new high, dump it, and then it's like, okay, now everyone's out of it. And then you could maybe see like head and shoulders later. There could be a lot. I still think the sell in May and go away will be the big opportunity. I think the sell in May and go away is the better opportunity than all of this right now. I mean, obviously, I thought the opportunity was the 2-hour higher low, or the 2-hour higher low, right? The scenario one. Then we talked about the weakness that could come here. Let's be cautious. We break out. We go, okay, we're on the bull train now. Right when we saw that little 5-minute show things, we go, oh, this is going up, right? It held that center of the zone in here, and then it went boom. It was using it as resistance, turned it into support on the 5-minute. Remember when we looked at this live? And then it goes boom. The gap up, though, is what tells you, like, hey, this is pretty good. The daily bar right here is what tells you this is really good. What are people doing here? A lot of calls. Let's go fill gap. Let's go fill gap. That's what I say. I say let's fill gap. So it's going to happen. Usually sell the rib to us right now. The dead period in May, like you said, then buy back lower price. I think so. I think you're going to see the run up, and don't be mistaken here. That's why I don't like those bull bear surveys. Retail did buy those dips. Retail did buy at those lows. So you're gonna see a moment where you're gonna see this. Like if you're able to get to past this high, you're gonna see this moment. You're gonna see this. You're going to see this. I'm very confident in saying you're going to see something like bam to really set, because you're going to dictate something. Why would the market do this back here? Can we talk about that for a split second? Why would the market go all the way back down into here? It's testing. You know what it's testing? If the sellers show up and push it just a tiny bit lower. Hey, boys. Damn it. Oh, Abuela came over. So the reason you're coming down here is to retest all of this. It's saying, hey, let's retest this. Where do we need to go? Well, we need to go where it started, right? And then if we roll from here, you see how bad that gets? You have nothing in here. You have almost nothing in here. Guess what? You have a little bit more over here. So I'm a little bit more confident that even if we went down to those lows, it would get it wouldn't get too bloody. But it's if you wipe all of it out, and then see resistance come in, that's where it gets really freaking ugly, dude. This is like where you start to see those bear market that starts off with like a 20% drop. It's gonna be not pretty if you see this. That's why, but you want to understand this is super low probability right now. Way higher probability to do this. Come up at least to here, 576, then experience the drop. I think you extend it up at least to 580, if not 590, right? And then you experience a drop to test into this. Everyone thinks crash, and it just turns back around. The only thing that's freaking me out about this moment are these gaps. Like, I don't know about those gaps, man. Just because of those gaps right here, you can see a mean-ass pullback. I'm more leaning towards filling those later. I think you'll fill them in 2025. Maybe 2026, but I think you're filling those in 2025. I just think it's more towards the fall. This is too much good. There's too many good things right now, and too many deals that can happen. Yeah, my dogs were like, buy Petco, damn it. You think a big sell comes in? There can always be that trap to the upside. There can always be that trap to the upside in the retail hours, right? Probably not 5 minute. Let's just look at a 30 and talk about it. If you see this just like surge, show you the way higher, that would be great. I actually would love this to make a high here, dump it, then curl up. Oh my goodness. If you see that new high here, that's a very good thing. And you already have awareness of the bad, right? You have awareness of the bad. Ooh, that would be a mean thing to do to you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Even if I was a market maker, I'd be like, that's cold. At 314 on Tesla? Is it really? Oh, no, it's 310, 305, 304, sorry. Daily expected move for Tesla over on Patreon with the second standard deviation. Let's see where we're lying here for Tesla. Okay. Okay, so you're outside. You're already seeing almost second standard deviation. Just so you're aware, for Tesla, you are close. You are close. I don't know if 310 is on the table right now. That would be a 1% moment. If you catch 310 today, it says congratulations. That's what it says. I'm just gonna say it, plain and simple. It's congratulations. Yeah. Watch out for a pullback before 310 today. You can break 310 next week. That would be probably better. That means retest today would be fantastic. We're still pulling. Now we're just pulling back on the 30-minute. Speaking to a friend of mine who works at a hedge fund, he said the volatility from them was in February, March. The big institutions had starting pulling out of the U.S. market and are still out. I don't think you've seen that burst through of CTAs. That means, you know, they're potentially waiting for a lot of the time. The big money. Notice this. Does big money make moves in the morning? Does big money usually make moves in the morning? Someone answer. And also, does big money sell during rips? Well, the first question, no. Normally you will see more, unless there's some kind of data draw, unless there's something for them to react. they're more so inclined to make decisions at the end of the day. So that means what about the macro scale? Well, one, when the stock market's coming down, you'll see smart money going up, right? And then once the stock market starts to go up, you'll see those last people start, you'll see that start to come down, right? And that means that retail starts to go up during this phase, and they're going to end up down at the low when retail is at the high. But how big money would like to decide, the reason I brought up that they make decisions at the end of the day is because I think they are still uncertain. And I think if they saw this, they would sell that rip either way and say, I want to see what price does here. And then if that curls up, this is why I think this is the actual move. That's why I think this is the better, longer, this is the better, how you hold price in a bull run for a month, is you get that retest. If you want a bull run for an entire month, I think you need that retest or a filling of those gaps. But our CTA is going to be really happy to buy if we're retesting all the way down here and then we bounce and you see that rotate down again. You think they're really going to load the boat? Probably not. They will be patient, right? They're patient till end of day. They let you guys do whatever you want to do, and then they go, all right, now what decisions do I want to make? After hours. All right, give me a sec here. The boys are being weird. Give me a second. Abuela showed up this morning. I didn't know she was coming. Give me a sec. All right, I got them some water now. They're happy. Boys are happy now. Abu, we call her Abu. CTAs are what's the easier way to explain it, guys? Like investment advisors, kind of right? Suri. I mean, I guess I can look real quick. I'm pretty sure it's just I think it stands for something advisors, like commodity. Let's see. But all you need to know, it's people with a bunch of money. The maid arrived? Hell no. Commodity trading advisors. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Big money managers. It's pretty much like your advisors is the main part of that. MBLY. What's MBLY? You raised the floor a little bit. You raised the floor here. Is this going to be a weekly high or low? Weekly high or low. This has high potential for decent investment. Now, you don't have a lot of data to go off of, so you're looking for maybe an investment that if it can take you past here, you're looking where? Right here. Right here. This needs to grow, and then it needs to hold in that zone and curl to the upside. You could see something like this first, then you go up. I actually don't I don't mind the look of this. I think you probably don't have enough data for the monthly. Yeah, you don't have enough data for the monthly, but this would be curling up a monthly chart. These signals right here, a weekly high or low with that amount of significance when your price is way down here and it's barely higher. I know it's barely, but that's almost 20%. Still, this is crazy good to see right now. If you get this to weekly close like this, that means it's going to make an attempt to take this out. Now you have a lot of hiccups to get through in the shorter term, but investment side, at least from the technicals here, you have a low price. You have something that got beat up, right? You're getting a discount. I would go through, if you're looking at the investment side, maybe look at the fundamentals. Let's just take it where we're at now. 63, 64% discount. All right. And this is how you attempt to try to test these type of levels, to be frank. Now you have to make sure those attempts go well, right? You got to break through this, you got to break through this, and then you can get into here, and you might run into hiccups right here. Okay. But this is overall a very good look on the weekly chart, which tells you, without the data, it would tell you a monthly chart is very likely to curl up. You just don't have enough data to suggest you can utilize monthly charts very well. Very, very nice though. Look, why is this so good? Well, because down here, I want you to look on the. You can do this on the weekly too, guys. Right? You can do it on the weekly as well. You find that point of resistance. Look at this wick. This can maybe help you out. Mark that. Pull it across. Take the low. And then you go see what happened. Awesome. We see what? Well, we have the resistance here. Resistance. And then you have support down in this area, right? So you have resistances all up in here. And you have what? You have support down in here. So what does that mean? Well, that means, look at this. Resistance, resistance. And then you go into the support. You don't even go to the low. That's great. So you have the higher low. And now you're producing upside. The RSI confirmed here. Price action confirmed here. And you just experienced a pullback last week. So let's go. Let's make an attempt. Right? You broke out of the zone. You retested, failed. You retested, failed. You retested, failed. You retested deeper, but didn't go to the low. Didn't make a new low. Very important, actually, not to make a new low here. Now, weekly charts, I'm a little different on the new low. But this means watch for the extended move to get above that high. Watch for the retest and go. Or just go. Yeah, you can do all these things on weekly. Everything's the same. Everything's exactly the same. It's just how much of your time do you want to dedicate to it? So I don't think that looks bad from the investment perspective. It looks like it hasn't had a lot of time with the public. So be aware of that and just say, okay, I'm going to make sure those fundamentals are good early on. But I can say, maybe this is a little one that I don't have to do an option for. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad looking investment to me. Took profit on the second deviation point. Seems a good choice. Really, really choppy there. Yeah, if you're talking about Tesla, Chris? Yeah, Tesla, okay. If you're talking about Tesla, yeah, that's why we gave those out yesterday in case you see some crazy things. But notice we're not seeing crazy things in the market. You're seeing them in the individual names. Hey, Apple, good job, Apple. Do the things it needs to do. This is what Apple needed to do, right? Same thing as the market. It made 2 blocks. 1, 2. All right. What did it do? It went into 1. And now it's going. Keep going. Go, Apple. Go, go, go. The only time I did end up scaring myself out of all the SPY calls yesterday. But I am holding on to Apple, so I'll be an Apple cheerleader. If this happens, I'll be back in the SPY. I'll be riding that. I just wanted to reposition if it gave me the opportunity. I didn't get the 300%er. Nope, I wasn't quick enough for that yesterday. Damn it. It's a great thing, right? We talked about it for what the hell did we just utilize it for? Was it Google? Google, right? Look at that. Be careful with Google. I think Google is very likely to need to come back down into this. Yeah, I think for sure. And I actually would make this tighter. I would actually pull this down into here. I think you're likely to see something like this retested. Now you've done some pretty good job with price here. 5 points. You saw the tag here, so it really looks like, hey, we don't want to lose this line, 154.08, right? The weekly second standard deviation if you wanted it for Google. But it would say, even for today, next week, your probabilities will change. That's why this line, you have to take it with a grain of salt today, because you're going to get new weekly expected moves. You would rather see a weekly expected move like here next week, and then you see that cross down and then bounce off of it. That would be fantastic. Okay? You didn't even get to a monthly move here. So Google is still risky. It's doing the work it needs to do to show positivity, but just in case, this could just be this right now, right? We make the new low, you bounce, you make the new low, you get a divergence, you see a big move, then you break down through that low again, right? So you don't want to be caught up in that mess. What you just want to pay attention to is what happens here. If I want this to remain bullish, I'm looking here, right? We did talk about that weekly chart a second ago that someone brought up, MBLY. And when it does this, you got to be a little bit more worried, right? That's why that one was worrisome, but now the weekly chart is proving it to you, right? So if you cut this, you just don't want to lose this low. That's the main thing. But if you cut this, you always treat it like, okay, we can lose that low. And you might take that into consideration with your management of the trade. But this is going to go away soon. All right, you're going to need a new data point. And I'm suggesting, hey, what if we do this? You see a weekly expected move tagged, and then you start to do the work to come back. If you make a divergence, we'll still point it out. It could be a fake out, right? We can see fake outs. But if you see a fake out like this, it would most likely do what? Cross back up through that line. It would most likely show you this if it's going to be a fake out. Yeah, very, very nice. But we just utilize that same dotted red line, right? A daily expected second standard deviation, just being utilized by Chris for Tesla. Can the situation affect Apple negatively? The thing is that I wanted to acknowledge about that, and just an idea, Noah, right? I am not an expert when it comes to wars, battles, whatever the hell. I'm better with trade deals and things like that. Like, yeah, I think Trump is doing the right thing. I think he's not doing it in the best way possible, but it might be the only way to get it done is just to throw it all out there, right? Empty the fucking trash. Hey, everyone's tariffing us. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, right? It's probably not the best way to do it. But I don't really know what his other option is when you only have 4 years to do it, and trade deals can take 4 years to like get one. So, like I said, just because I voted for the guy does not mean I won't be critical of the guy, right? I'm critical of every single president, even the ones I vote for. I'm not a fanboy, right? I don't have a t-shirt that says Trump. I just said, hey, I want a good life for my daughter, and the direction we're going right now ain't it. Daily expected for Apple are over on Patreon. I mean, let's see what price is. I can let you know, like, if you're genuinely, like, around it. You have a little bit of room to the upside, just a little bit. Another $1 or $2. High lit market volume. High lit market volume? Ah, did AMC show too much? That's what I'm wondering. I like this look from AMC. It's just, if you wanted to talk about a corrupted stock, it actually is AMC. Weirdly enough, AMC has the weirdest stock movement that I've ever seen. I just wanted to mention that. GME is a lot easier to read into than AMC. GME is just like every other stock. AMC has been very, very weird. I would really say if you're looking at AMC, ignore every single 30-minute, every single 2-hour, look for daily good things. That's what I would say. This one has the weirdest stock movement in the shorter time frames, and then it just sees a drop or a pop. And so I'm looking for good daily signals, and you have good daily signals right now. You actually have double bottom here, and you didn't go down past the low, so it's not showing you the pathway lower, which inclines me to believe we're about to see some kind of uptrend. But it's like, I'm only seeing that from the daily chart. The shorter time frames are just shit. They are just shit. Even the 2-hour is rough for AMC. GME moves like every other stock. It does. 2-hour divergence here, daily move up. 2-hour divergence here, daily pull back. come down into the bottom of your support that you can really get to. Okay, we're failing that. We're heading to the upside. This is all good things. Okay, so if we're going to continue, then you need to see this not bounce and roll, but instead bounce, get outside of it, curl back up the daily chart. GME is like way, way, way better at showing you direction, which makes me inclined to think, what the fuck is going on with AMC? I'm just saying. I'm like, what is going on with that stock? It is one of the fishiest looks I've ever seen. And yes, I do own AMC. It's a weird stock. Do you think they run? Okay, so I will say this about Roaring Kitty. When you see a Roaring Kitty tweet, or when you see a Roaring Kitty drop, or when you see a Ryan Cohen tweet, or when you see a GameStop drop of information, normally before those events, like almost every single time in 2024, either GME or AMC had daily divergence. Yeah, it was GME or AMC. Not mentioning like when he was tweeting every single day. I'm talking after that. It was when AMC or GME had a daily divergence. And AMC has the daily divergence right now, so take it with a grain of salt. Doesn't have to be true. Didn't happen every single time, but it did happen like, I would say like 4 out of 5 times he had tweeted right after AMC or GME made a daily divergence. Well, you can't say it had a good earnings. Had a good earnings. Yeah, say what you want about it. I don't care. I'm in it for, you know why I'm in it. I'm in it for if the thing's real. If it exposes itself and it goes to even just $10, cool. Cool. I'm not reading into their earnings. I don't care about that investment that much, to be totally honest with you. It'd be sick if it popped off, and that's why I hold it. It's nice if you have the money to do so and you can just make a little position there. It's kind of like that one. Remember those guys that I talk about, those 1 in 10? They buy like 10 really cheap pharma stocks, and then they see which one pops off over the next, or like what 3 pop off out of the 10 in the next like 10 years. And then they just sell them for big profit. And then they say, oh, I lost 7 grand, but I gained 70 grand. That's kind of that's the method there. It's not something that's really important for us to, I mean, unless it actually causes some turbulence in the market. So the dollar right now dropping off, seeing that pullback from our zone. This is good to get to that zone though. Now you're looking for retests. Very, very good. Very, very good. Now retest into here. You can come all the way into like 100 again. 100 again, and you're still looking good from the dollar. This is why this is so good. This is so important. You don't want to lose it, that's for sure. But this is why the SPY looks like a pullback down to the daily expected move would be more likely today, if not at least to fill the gap. For 340 bucks. What's your thoughts on 2 times leverage? I've been losing money here. Are there any good ones? If I was using leverage and I was like, I don't know what your daily pizza is, hard for me to keep track of everyone's like levels, how long you've been looking at markets. I would get really good at trading SPY and QQQ with no options. And then I would start to do that with TQQQ and SQQQ and things like that, right? I used to do that. I used to swing trade the 3 times leveraged, but I never did options. If you do options with those, there's already decay in the underlying stock, plus the theta decay is insane. So just be aware, if you're trying to do an option with those and you're wrong, even in the slightest bit, or it just goes sideways for 2 days, you got to reposition. You're going to have to really focus on position size. There's a lot more that comes to those with options, right? Law is 100. Another good week. Appreciate the macro work as always. Have a good weekend, Lucas. Holy crap, Laws. Thank you so much for the $100. Laws' first massive donation. Laws is a very nice person. He comes in every single day. He likes the video. He talks all the time. I love it, Laws. Hey, thank you so much for that, buddy. Everyone, shout out to Laws. All right, let's give some good vibes to Laws this weekend. Oh, underestimated euros. I didn't see that. I didn't see it. Oh my goodness. Thank you. 100, so like 130. Pounds about fourth donation of the same value, but all good. I can't remember. I never remember them, but laws, my goodness, what a good time. Thank you, thank you. Damn, you guys, stop giving me. If my wife checks into the stream to see if I'm getting donations so that I have to like give her things, and it's Mother's Day, she's gonna expect more now. Now I have to go shopping even more today. No, laws. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for giving back to the stream. I hope we continue to be helpful for you, laws. She's gonna tune into the stream now and be like, I see it. Oh god. But thank you, thank you. Laws, what was your best thing this week? What's the best thing you had? Was it yesterday? Yesterday was fun. I think the movie industry, one of those day traders you don't like, but honestly, the macro work here is outstanding. Well, the macro is still good for a day trader. You'll see, remember Figuring Out Money? Figuring Out Money, he's a day trader, but he's someone I really respect. Why? Well, because he still pays attention. He still pays attention to the macro side. It's very, very good for any style of trader to understand what environment you're in, when it is changing, all those things. I caught Palantir down overnight and covered today for about 8 grand. Hey, not bad, Laws. Well, we like it. Thank you, buddy. Good job. Oh no, I don't mind you being a day trader, by the way. I don't mind you being a day trader. Like I said, if you're one of the people, if you're smart, you can figure it out, you're good at it. Me, I just like having some more time. All day, the fun account's doing too well. My day trades, technically like 2 DTE trades. They've gone too well lately. You know when they go too well? I'm this guy right now on my own, on my this is actually funny. On my fun account, I'm this guy right now. I'm going, something's gonna go wrong. What's going on here? Something's going on here. Yeah, shorting Tesla gonna be a rough business right now. I think you're gonna see that pull back. Here we go. Okay, awesome. So we go to perfect. Second standard deviation, perfect. Great job, Chris. Now look for the retest all the way into here would be the best thing. Actually, all the way down to here would be crazy. I don't know if you I don't even know if you want to get to the center here. You want to hold, actually, yeah, you can. You want to hold here or here, weirdly enough, and that gap's at the low. So I think here is your best spot to watch. If you even get that, right? It's very bullish. I'm not saying short it. I'm saying shorting it, this thing could just keep ripping. It's fucking Tesla, man. Tesla's crazy. Worked perfect. Nice job, Chris. Congratulations on that. Congratulations, Laws. Thank you for sharing. This time day trading happens. Even you don't like it. I really don't really like day trading. I've been able to time it to where it was a day trade. You can see that in my lack of buying 0 DTE. I don't know if we want to be degens at the end of today, though. Maybe we should be degens today. Should I be a degen today? Let's get this guy. Let's get this guy, right? This guy right now who's looking at my fun account. Let's turn him real quick into this guy. That's what always happens. It gets to a point where I get to this phase, and then I go, it's gonna no, it's fine. I'm gonna keep doing it, and then I end up this guy on my fun account. That's why the best thing for me to do is not take a day trade for a month. %% tariffs on West. Wouldn't that be a decrease? Gonna go make some more money for my afternoon yellow. Yeah, QQQ, the levels to pay attention to, just so you are aware. If you don't see in the bottom right corner, we do have the daily expected moves. But the important thing to notice is what's important around there. The block, right? The 2 blocks, 1, 2. You're looking for boom or just to rotate now, leave it behind. What's the bearish thing? You just see a collapse and then it bounces up. And then Monday we get a that's the worst case. If you end up if you close below this low, especially, but even if you react below this, I will not be holding anything. I will sell Apple with a smile, and have a good Mother's Day. We are going to our private zoo that I bought our family a membership for. Very, very awesome. It's very clean. It's very nice. I love it. And they are doing massages for moms. So I thought it was the perfect thing to go do. And I'm going to bring a wig, and I'm going to hold Ari, and I'm going to say, I'm a woman too, and then I'm going to get my ass a massage. That's what's going to happen. Damn, this is actually a pretty bad 5-minute rejection. Literally tapped into the bottom of it and down. That's not necessarily a good rejection there for the 5-minute. From a monkey, yeah. They get the hippo to walk on your back. I go by she and Degen. Oh, great. India, Pakistan. That is, God. See what I mean? The unknowns, the darkness, right? 10K profit yesterday. Looking to get back in soon after the dip now. You are still in the buy the dip kind of market. News will print bad things to make you, the way you know it's bad is price action. The news will tell you it's bad while things are going down. They will tell you it's good while things are going up. Or if they don't want you in the move, they'll tell you it's bad and the stock market will keep squeezing. And then at the top, they'll tell you something good, and then you'll see a big ass dump in May. Maybe even going into June if we hold price for a longer time. Hee hee. The risk zone for Apple is up above you for sure. In the shorter term, short term, you're there right now. Short term, aka right now. What do I do if Apple rejects from where it's at right now? I say, all right, the play's not there. Now, I'm thinking about taking on some more risk here because I sold everything on the SPY side, so my position is not... I had a lot of money spread out there yesterday, pretty much, and so I downed that completely in this area. So for Apple, I'm still looking for what? If it needs to retest into here, or if it's going to break out to do what? Get to here. But the ultimate zone to pay attention to is this, right? And that's why we just have this whole thing marked off. And you can just pay attention to the bottom square. So this is, if you get to here, that's the trade being done. Like done. Especially if you get to the upper end. If you get to here, 217.50, this trade is done. Like for sure done. So you're just sitting. You're in that area where you have to see, are we doing this to get to here? And then here's where we can do what? Pull back, retest that again. Then we see that upside move. Then you get into May 16th. I think this might take till the 16th to get there. I'd like to see upside now. Today, I would like to see upside for Apple all the way potentially into end of day. I think that would be fantastic if you get here, because then your weekly move will be in here like this, maybe even bigger. And that would tell you, okay, bam, pull back, bam, and you're done, right? It should be very simple if it remains good. If it's going to go bad and you see this roll, okay, good. It didn't show you the way lower. That's good. The other thing is, though, if this goes up to here, goes like this, and goes bam, what's that the start of? Making the new low, right? It could be a retest, but it could make the new low. So do I want to play around with it? Because I don't know. I'm not a magician. No, I'm probably going to be out, be back in, or out, be back in is more likely. Out, be back in with caution, and look for that second rejection. Once that happens, if the second rejection happens, I ain't touching Apple anymore. Something's going on with Apple at that point. So hopefully going through that's a little bit more helpful. GME kind of ripping right now. The weird thing for me is I don't know how if those things rip, I don't know what happens to the market. I make the U.S. North Mexico or Southern Canada. We can have an India-Pakistan war over it. You guys fighting over news? Yeah, fair. That's how I'm doing it. If I see bad things from the 30-minute, I would say by 11:30 Eastern or 10:30 my time, I'll be making decisions. I want to be patient with it though. I want to be very patient. Understand the market you're in is different from what Apple is in. So if you're going to use Apple to go higher to make the SPY and the Qs go higher, you still would like to see this kind of retest that you got right here, but you could go deeper. You could go down to 196. So I don't want to be hasty with it. I more want to be like, okay, if we lose this low, it's not going to hurt my trade too much. It might be a loss of like 15%, 10%, right? Because why? Because you have the longer dated option. So that's great. You're not going to lose value as much. Maybe 20 max. And I would just say, okay, I'm going to be very loose with it on this one. Because I think it could be shaping up to be an opportunity. But I'm also looking at the SPY, right? I'm looking at the SPY and I'm looking right here. Right? This is just to catch a decent price to be a part of an Opex run-up. This is not the, having multiple ways to trade is a good thing. And that's why we're going very heavily into price action, trying to like teach you guys a lot over the last like 2 weeks, really just focusing on the blocks and things like that in the environment we're in, how this thing holds up better and continues to squeeze, right? That's overall what we're going for. And then how it fails. You have not seen the failure yet. You're dipping back into where? Exactly where we want it to. You're going right back into here. If you go into here, okay, that's the second area. And you see it wherever, if that's able to turn back around, and you see this thing start to turn back around with some steam, that would be a good thing. 5-minute chart, I don't know if this will help you. No, so this is that roll. So you break down, you actually retested, failed the next move higher, going directly into the bottom here. And then you see boom, boom, boom. Now we want to see, is this the moment where it goes like this, starts to make that new high, shows you the pathway forward? Because right now it's showing you the pathway down, which means you now, instead of this, you now have this. So now you can go and you see if it rolls. That's how you break down to lower levels. And then you need it to potentially show you that pathway higher now by beating all of this, all of this, all of this. So you're going to maybe get a squeeze there. The squeeze moment is over here. It could be right now, but we'll find out. Pretty much any time we're able to see that blast off, just know that's the squeeze moment that's happening. And if you take this out, you take this out, what are you taking out next? This. So this is where risk, say, is like higher here because you don't know if this is going to take it out or just bounce into the bottom like it just did and fail again. So I'd be utilizing the information you have and say, hey, if I'm patient, the best price I could potentially get is actually $558.96. So we have a lot of time to thunk around throughout the day. So I'm going to try to stay live a little bit longer today because we won't have the afternoon stream. I got a lot of things to get to. Mother's Day. I got to go shopping. I got to go buy some cheese balls or something. I don't know. She likes her snacks. I got to go buy licorice. Guys, licorice. Ew. You see how we would get to... I don't think you even want this retest. I really don't want the retest. I want it to shoot down. No, not black licorice. The box is considered like you're paying attention to how price behaves in every single box. It really depends on the time frame you're looking at and things like that, because boxes can be completely different, right? Blocks, I call them blocks. All of them are ew. All right, don't know if I missed this. Netflix. No, we haven't looked at Netflix today. Once again, Netflix, risky one. Showed you the pathway higher, weirdly enough, but also created the rejection divergence very obviously for the double top. So ultimately, the best thing for Netflix is to react down to $1,000, I would say, but react down into an area of some confluence, or just flag out, so remain higher, right? And then see it turn up around here. The actual good trade, like the great trade if you get it, which this looks like it's tipping, is one would be here. This would be okay. Like here is okay. Here is good. Here is great. That's all I need to know about Netflix. I'm not inclined to short things I don't have moves for and things like that, but you do have the 2-hour like double top flash in here. Pretty much saying that this 1058 is very possible. Very possible. Got to see that low taken out. But this would say maybe assume the risk here. Watch for the low. Right? See if you get the 2-hour move down. Past these. Right? If it's going to be volatile. And then if that's going to continue, what's going to happen? You're going to retest. And then probably head lower. I really like the price point down in here. Like 960. 960 would be great. 975. But overall, it's just when the daily pulls back, when am I seeing the 2-hour give me the hints, if I'm even getting them, or am I hitting critical price levels? So yeah, I think it's risky to hold on to this stock right now. I think it can be better if you just like, you can see how it just squeezes again, right? It just, anytime it holds up above these type of areas and it just goes, whoop. But what you're more looking for here is potentially the cup filling. Little bounce, fill the gap, or sorry, not fill the gap, but go up back into this zone here, then you drop back down. Right, pretty good move there. I'm sure I'm undercutting it for sure, but yeah. But yeah, 2-hour rejection, confirmation bar was here or here. Here or here. Probably looking for a 30-minute bounce now, though. Okay, now we can read into more. Do this. Roll. Do this. Big reaction. Roll. Go all the way down, probably to here. Then you see if that can continue to roll before you get any kind of 30-minute divergence, any kind of 30-minute higher low. Yeah, I'm not the biggest bull on Netflix right now. You could turn me into a bull pretty quick in a few weeks. Your shit's delayed. Oh no. Yeah, I still think names like that without the expected moves, I would try to at least use, Jonna, you have the core, whoever has the core, use the Robinhood method, the method, you can use it on any platform. I just showed you with the fun account. You could use it on any platform though and make those ranges pretty good, or just make a freaking get a Thinkorswim account and just use their ranges for now. They're okay. Chewy, I have not looked at Chewy in like a year. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't looked at Chewy in like a year. This is very good for Chewy. That is very good to do. I want you to look at this RSI. Terrible divergence. You just violated most. Like, you violated 66% of what was bad here. You did leave behind a gap. Did you break below this low before that gap? No, that's good. If you start to lose these levels, obviously you'd be losing the 5. You'd start to see potential downtrend. But for now, this is a very good thing. You're in a new sequence. You only violated 1. You might say multiple point divergence. So the weakness could still be here, but you want the price action to tell you before you say like, oh yeah, this is plummeting. You would want to see this, into this, into that. The trade for downside is over here. Right now, it just violated a lot of what's going on here. So the more likely thing with how price is standing right now is to see that maybe even the gap fill, you come back down into here, then you see that as support and you head to the upside again. 2-hour scale, let's see if it's any different. Yeah, 2-hour scale as well. Doing what? Violating all the divergence. So I'm not inclined to say this is an easy short, but the daily scale is at a critical level. So hey, maybe you want this thing to pop off right now. That would be the best case scenario, actually. It didn't show you the pathway higher yet. It might need a retrace at some point. 35 earnings. See what happens. If it runs and runs and runs before earnings, right now it's running before earnings, right? If I paid attention to the daily divergence, you guys see that, right? You guys see the daily divergences, right? Awesome. Where'd that confirm? Boom, right here. So you should have been in at 33, you know, as far as like even investing goes for a few weeks, and then go bam, 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 bam. Awesome, 20%-ish. And then you want to see a retrace for the next opportunity down to 36, or even all the way down to 34.50. Oh, maybe fill the gap, actually. Didn't see that. Towards 34. But yeah, this is a run up before earnings with the actual signal. This is very good. This is not bad. But you could be in a downtrend pretty quick here. And you see if you can turn around. Let's see what level's important. Is this going to be good? Look at this. We'll bring it out. Golden pocket. Perfect. The area we really want to pay attention to. We get a little bit more confidence there. We see support come in there once. That's good. We see the resistance before it multiple times in that area. So very resistance-like level that if you tap into it, now it can be support. So I'd say gap fill would be the best opportunity, but it's pretty bullish stance for the time being, pretty bullish trend. So I don't mind Chewy there. I just don't think it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to put my whole freaking house on that right now to say, oh, this is a great investment. I think you're looking for pullbacks. If it's going to continue to squeeze or something, you got to look for the 2 hour to be able to confirm up. Chewy's prices are now as high as in the store. Okay, we've dipped into the zone. Like I said, this might be the real only opportunity. Right? We're looking at this block. We're looking at this block. I don't see any turnaround from the daily just yet. Or from the, I don't see the turnaround signals from the 5 minute just yet. We'll see what happens. We look at some data here. Okay, let's look for that. Now, that might be it. We'll see. I still want to be open to this. I really want to be open to this. But right now, you kind of have... That's your 5. We'll look for reversal, actually, like now. The better thing, I think, would be to do this. Get people excited. Reject one more time. Boom. Get that big explosive move there. Get some news behind it. I kind of don't want to leave anything behind. I really don't. I'm not a believer in future fills and things like that. I think regular market wants to do it. Where's like a middle of all of this? Somewhere around 560 to 561, right in there. That'd be a good thing. I think that's where I might just like YOLO it for next Friday and do like a 2-week thing. Apple seeing a little bit of struggle here. If you're a bull, you want the struggle to stop soon, I would say. Let's look at first pricing wise. We'll see. Not bad. You're in the first zone. I'd like to see the second zone, personally. Amazing week, Lucas. I really appreciate listening in and all of your perspective. Definitely made some things click with my trading. That's great, Nels. I'm so happy to hear that. So happy to hear that. You've been participating a decent amount this week, too. That's fantastic. That's the whole goal here. Well, so why is a gap filled, Sid, in your mind, right? This is kind of my mind with it. Why are gaps filled? Why are gaps filled? Like, why does price, fill the gap and usually see a reaction off of those levels? Like, why does that happen? Why is gap fill and go a big thing? Why? Well, a gap means what? Buyers came in, sellers came in, right? That's an area where those buyers came in, those sellers came in. And Justin, hopefully you were watching that Netflix portion. Thank you for the $5, buddy. The five. Oh, sorry, doll hairs, Canadian. No. What do I think of Apple right now? I think I'm in Apple. I'm in Apple, being patient here. If management of trade comes in, I can make a decision. I would rather. I'm going to be patient with it. If it loses this low, that's when I might get rid of it. Yeah, I think Apple looks good for a 2-hour run up. I still do. Google did it. Did it really? No. Get there, get there, get there. The reason to me that gaps are important and a great thing to pay attention to when they're filled is you look for what happened there. You see if it broke out. Notice that you'll see gaps in between a lot of support and resistance, right? They'll gap over the support and resistance. The buyers show up, right? So if I wanted to see an area where if the market maker was like, we need liquidity, well, I'd look for where buyers really showed up. Bam, it caused a gap. Okay, awesome. Sometimes it's light volume in the overnight, but most of the time you're just like, okay, buyers showed up, so price went up. So if I do this, tap into here in any way, right? It's not always it has to fill. If you wanted to, you could treat this as a little mini zone. Like you could literally do this with gaps if you really want to. I think you're more so inclined just to mark off the gap like this and say, this is where I'm looking for actual support. It's weird. It's weird because usually you say you would cut through big gaps on like macro scales pretty quick. You can actually use them as support levels too. I'm more inclined to mark off the low and mark off where the most resistance came in to mark off a better thing. In my opinion, because look what you notice happening, and I think this happens a lot of the time. Bam, then you see that turn back up. Right when everyone thinks, oh, the gap's gone, we're not gapping going, then you start to go. But it's mainly just an area where buyers showed up. Sorry, guys, moving things around for a second. Be back in 1 minute. Sorry, guys, my wife was grabbing a bunch of stuff. It was really noisy, so I didn't want your ears to bleed. So I actually would argue I would like Google to fill the gap. You don't have to fill a gap. You can always fill it later. I'm not someone who says like it has to happen, right? I'm never someone that's going to say this in the market has to happen. Now, I would take into consideration the times that I do say it because the market has to do what? Don't not show us the pathway down. It has to not show us a break below this level, right? Because that opens the door to bad things. It doesn't mean bad things have to happen, right? But it does mean this starts to put my warning lights flashing real big. Okay, we're tapping into the zone. We're starting to see support there. We'll see if that can come fully. I like Apple. I think Apple's fine. It's fine. It actually came down into what? It came down into what? The gap, right? Is that bad? It's all right. I don't think you've filled the gap fully, but that's getting kind of tedious with it. Nitpicky. If you're generally good at price action, you will run into a lot less hiccups because you won't make decisions at the wrong time, right? If you're generally good with price action, like as far as day trading goes, then you should not be looking for longs here, right? And we give data for that, and you knew that. And 570 was the key resistance with the call wall. So now if you're generally good with price, I'm guessing day traders will be focusing here, bam, and they'll be focusing here. And I bet you money they would go buy, rip, sell. That's how I think they would do it. I'm looking for the same thing, but I'm looking to extend it for like a whole week. I don't really worry about it. I don't really worry about it personally. It beats me up every year. I can tell you that, Daily Pizza. Like, I'm probably not doing it in the perfect way tax-wise. But that's where you just, the good thing is a lot of my friends are CPAs and stuff like that. If I ever run into problems with taxes, I literally throw it at my friends. Or I'll throw it at my dad's accountant. Hopefully those taxes just I don't know, go away or something. I wish a president would say they're going to take taxes away or something. That'd be great. The minute you start talking about Apple, the asset starts shooting up. It's just not in the worrisome area yet. You will be worried about Apple when, right? Normally, management of the trade. This is crossing down. I totally understand if you manage this trade. But if you're not losing enough here, then it's still bullish. Well, I mean, and this isn't really a bullish stock, by the way. Let me rephrase, because Apple's in a downtrend. This is still a potential opportunity, right? This is a risky opportunity, right? Apple is the risky opportunity, but it makes sense. Amazon is the risky opportunity, and it makes less sense. Why? Buy high, sell low. Buy low, sell high. Well, Apple has more of the basic argument of buy low, sell high right now than Amazon does. And Amazon is showing major reversal signals for upside. That's why I'm like, I still think Amazon has the potential to squeeze. I'm just not one that's going to mess around with this. I'm not messing around with anything that's going on with this. All you have to do is see a break to the upside, by the way. This doesn't say it has to. A lot of the time it will. A lot of the time you'll see this. But what you'll probably see if this is breaking down is it's going to lose all of this. Then it'll bounce. Then it will reject. Right? Patterns, drawings like this are perfectly fine, but the real retest you're looking for, you wouldn't necessarily, I know we say it too, where you can retest that trend, right? But you'll be better off paying attention to where it would retest. So if this all breaks down, you're looking for the retest here, here, or all the way up to here. Right? It's good to understand that a drawing is a drawing, but the price action to the left of whatever's happening right now is way better to pay attention to. It's not to say it can't be great, it can't be utilized, right? You're still looking at the right things. But a way to advance yourself is really find these blocks for retests. Since we're talking a lot about price action the last couple days, I think it's important to say. Look at a 5-minute for a little bit here. Okay, 5-minute, getting a reaction up. We're looking for what? Rejection, possibly, right? This is where we can see that run up. This is where we see that potential run up here. How does it fail? Well, we would react up into here, start to roll, and then boom. Around this area, we want to see if those buyers step in. anywhere down here, we want to see if those buyers step in. So we have a point to pay attention to, 558.96. We can watch a 5-minute for a little bit. GME breakout. This could be a big one, honey. What? Oh, there you go. This is great. This is what you need to see, right? We actually talked about this a little bit, right? You need to see this breakout. You're seeing it. That's great. Price action, love it. Did so much for me. That's great. I'm kind of glad that we're in this situation right now, because it really, going through bear market like volatility opens you up to this type of situation, which is great. And we can pay further attention to price action. It's something that's really developed for me. Actually, even more since I've started this channel, right? We were seeing those run-ups early on when I was making this channel, but I really didn't think, I mean, I guess it's the resistance support argument, the blocks are, but how you behave in those can really help you out. I've just gotten better and better because you guys make me look at charts even more. So thank you guys for allowing me to get better. Any way that you can make it make more sense, Sebastian, right? And thank you for the 2. Mr. Seabass. GME, I don't think you wanted to stop. What was the thing about GME? And it was more on AMC when the big moment happened. The 30-minute went. The 30-minute never stopped. Never stopped. So run, baby, run. AMC at the exact top. AMC at the exact top had a 30-minute divergence. The last, not the last time, not 2024, but what was it, 2021 or something, 2022? Apple's starting to run now, targeting 204. Bro, I might go ham on that one. I might try to hold on to at least some. All right, I'll sell on the way up, but I want to hold some contracts for possibly 212 directly, or not, or if not 217. So I might have 3 sells for Apple. My sells that I'm looking at for Apple are going to be where? Pretty simple. First block, 1. Second blocks, 2. If we get to gap fill, if the money's not great enough by then, right? You know me, I get shaken out of holding things because I like the money. 1, 2, anywhere in this type of area. And then if I still want to hold on to those runners, it would be 3, 217.44. That would be phenomenal, and I would be very happy with that, and I could probably not even trade for the next month if 217 gets hit. I could just sit and try to help you guys as much as possible. But you know me, I'll probably trade. How'd you build up your YouTube channel when you first started? Consistency and the quality of content. I didn't focus on getting views. I didn't focus on getting money. This is true with anything that you try to do, anything you try to start yourself. Do not focus on what you think you're supposed to focus on, right? Focus on your target audience. That is why I'm glad I was seriously into marketing. Okay, here we go. All right, this, remember, we have not done the work to break through. If you break through this, now we watch for something unique, okay? We're in this area, so you're testing in a block, right? So now you're looking for 2 things. Show us the way higher, retest, go. That would be great. Or show us the way lower, which it already kind of is, reject, go lower. Set something up down here. Then we go higher, retest, go. Probably going to retest up to here. That's how I see it at this point. So this is a major inflection point where paying attention to price will be a very, very good thing. I'm going to stay live for a little bit longer today. So you swing or day trade? Mostly I would say swing trade. I'm more of a position guy, so I'll look for the potential day trade, but I'll look for it on more like a 30-minute or 2 hours so I can hold on to it for a few days. So what I like to do, okay, is I like to, and I have been doing some, like you would say 2 DTE, and they've turned into day trades, obviously. But that's with the fun account. I don't mess around with it. I'm not the best day trader in the world. I had to admit that to myself, and if I'm honest with myself about it, that's how I start to get better. So what I do is I like to take 2 week, 4 week, or even 8 weeks. So 2 to 8 weeks. And I've really updated that to about 4 weeks. I might do a 2-week one for the SPY here though. Yeah, 2 to 8 weeks is usually the options expirations I go for. Right now I have a 4-week expiration for Apple. YouTube is a lot about understanding the target audience and what would they want. And my whole idea behind YouTube, and you guys, we can go over this story sometime in the future. We've told it multiple times, but my whole thing with YouTube, the reason that I started it was a lot of the market is based around ripping money away from retail. I wanted to help retail. My whole goal was not money. My whole goal was not views. My goal was if I can help 5 people, then I'm successful. Okay, that's why you see me show so much appreciation to people who shout out and say, man, we didn't talk about this a lot before. We might have mentioned it a few times, but now I'm really paying attention to this price action and I'm learning a lot. That is what my channel is about. That is it. Right? That is it. And then you have to go into the sneaky things. If I want to get to more people, what do I have to do? I have to make bearish looking thumbnails, which you can always make a bearish looking thumbnail. I don't think it's a bad thing to pay attention to how this can fail. But the important thing about last night's video was it was how it fails. But bulls are still in control. Right? How it would fail. How the bears take control. Right? You do have to play that game on YouTube, just like the news. Why do you think they post negative things? So negative things will be more. That's why if you're paying attention to a channel and it's just negative every single day, it's for views. If it's the most negative thing you have ever seen, and they're doing a ton of work on their thumbnails and they're doing a ton of work on their intros and a ton of work on, no, those people want views. You need to find the people who are giving you good information that makes sense consistently. That's why we say FX Evolution. I think there's some pitfalls there, but I think he's great for what he does. The information he gives is good. I've mentioned Figuring Out Money. I think his information is very good. People brought up a REIT trading. I think he's pretty good. Right? These are people who actually give you information and explain why. There's a lot of people out there who still get tons of, and they kind of say the right things, right, in the thumbnails, but they say price action is heading down. Well, you're heading down because of this. They never tell you what to look for. They never tell you why this could turn back up. They never tell you why this could be a trap based on actual price action and things like that. It's very important to understand you should be out there looking for helpful information to you. If you're not getting helpful information that is improving you and you're not getting that from this channel, we might not be a good fit. And that is perfectly okay with me. I don't want to waste your time. If the most helpful thing for you from my channel is to realize I don't like this guy's style, I can't utilize what he does, I can't utilize the information he gives, it's not helpful to me, I want you to go find someone else. I genuinely do. I genuinely do. I want you to do the best thing for you. If it is not going, if it takes a view away from me, well, I don't care. Right? That's the kind of resolve that you need for YouTube. That is what is going to keep you going. Right? I'm helpful to at least 5 people today. I'm happy. That's it. End. Period. Done. If we make mistakes, we fix the mistakes quickly, right? If we make mistakes, we figure it out. We're human beings. Good stuff. Love you guys. Love you guys. All right. DIA still not able to come back yet. Not seeing the positivity, but notice that everything is reacting into what? Except for IWM. IWM not even getting there. That is surprising. I would watch for a flash sell to grab liquidity at the least for IWM. VIX, even though looks like the SPY was able to go positive, VIX down 1% right now. SPY reacting up into a key level. We will see if it can make its way all the way to 565.86. If we reject from there, I would expect a test of this lower block in some way, paying attention to 558.96. Much love, Mr. Watson. Right back at you, buddy. Thank you guys for showing appreciation, always showing gratitude, even if it's just thank you to yourself. High five yourself in the mirror after a good trade. I treated myself to a nice lunch. My wife hates spicy wings, so I had a great trade yesterday. Boom. Fantastic. So what do? I give myself a reward, and then I slap myself in the face and say, you could make a mistake tomorrow, so don't get cocky. But thank you for saying that. Could you share some opinions? My opinions on the market are we are going to squeeze higher. My opinion on the market from the price action I see right now is we are going to squeeze higher into Opex from what I'm seeing. If you are lucky and you see a moment where you get a pullback, this is a market that is slowly shifting into buy the dip and sell the rip. So you tune in and watch the commercials. Same politically. Yeah. Yeah, don't give in to the emotions. As of right now, you're still in the zone. You're still in the zone. Trying to get some confidence here. I got some Palantir 110 puts with 6.6. Palantir is rough, man. I'm not inclined to short in this market at all. Once you see SPY positive gamma, once you see the daily start to give you that move above the center of a block, it becomes very worrisome to short. It's way better to watch a downtrend come. Now, I think Palantir now has shown you enough, but what you need to see here is this is too big of a move. This is way too big. You lost this, this, and this. And where did you go to? You went all the way up to here. So what does that mean for Palantir? Why is this a rough one to short now? Because the looks you have, man, the price action you did get is very sporadic. And it's not necessarily showing you the way lower here. It's really not. You're seeing highs here. You don't see that little dip down to tell you, oh, yeah, we're going lower. Bam. Right? The way divergence forms, we might talk about that in the course later on as well. But for the time being, it's just like, if this wanted to be bad, then it potentially should have rolled a lot sooner, right? It potentially should have rolled here when we tested into here, right? Kind of this right there. You could extend that and include this, however you want to do it, but rejection from there would have been nice. Why? Because you lost this low. So you would expect rejection from here. You didn't get it, which means this could actually end up being bullish. And then we can go into our indicators and say, where's the RSI? It's above the center. Where's the MACD? It's above the center, right? This is why I think Palantir is still difficult. When I would say it's more clear that Palantir is going down from the price action we have now is when I see the 2-hour confirm this again, show us that strength below, and then not be just like some kind of retest to go higher. So pretty much here, you want a higher low to fail, because all you have to do now is go, even if you did this, it still would be bullish. You need to see, like, that's the bad part about this move. This is why this is so complicated, because you saw a big move. So now you have to do all the work again to show you you're in a downtrend. This is not obviously down. You're too positive here. So now you need to see what? Weirdly enough, you're going to have to see this taken out. Is that a great trade to wait for this to be taken out? And then I need to probably see a reaction, and then I need to see the failure. The trade is actually over here still because you saw too much positivity. I know that's crazy, but that's the truth if you want to be safer with it. As far as it stands, Palantir is curled up on a 2-hour. That is a positive thing. As it stands, Palantir is above the 5-day moving average. That is a positive thing. As it stands, Palantir has taken back this low, and this low on the 30-minute, and is now reacting down into where? That low again. So watch if this thing turns back up. And if it wanted to turn down, you still have high potential now to make a 30-minute higher low. Okay, this is why this is going to be a rough one. People always do that. And people see this all the time, and, people can be successful with it. We have moves for Palantir, and I'm still not inclined to short this. People see that run up, and they go, oh yeah, this is obvious. I'm going to short it. And then their option is here, and then it goes boom, and they go, see, I'm right. And then it goes like this, and then they lose all their money, and then they go, okay, I saved some money. I'm going to short it again. This has to stop. And then it pulls back, and it retests that area, and then they go, see, this is the moment it's going to tank. And then it goes like this, and it turns up, right? And then your expiration was over here, and you go, shit, I lost all my money again. This is how you get in that short squeeze problem, right? This is how you get in that short squeeze, shorting a short squeeze problem over time. What you're doing is you're focusing on a stock that looks like it's going to fall, while other stocks are probably just setting up what? Easy bullish opportunities. Right? This is not easy bullish opportunity, by the way. This is not easy short opportunity, in my opinion, by the way. I don't think it is. I think that this is one of those stocks where you have to say, this could go up, this could go down. But right now, with the price action, it looks like it's going to go up. Whether it pulls back and fills this gap or not, it looks like it's going to go up. Right? If you keep looking for the big short because of that movie, you're going to miss out on all the easy longs. The big short was a 0.01% trade. It's very hard to see. I mean, in hindsight, it's very easy to see, right? But are you going to react in real time? SPY dipping down a little bit more. So like obvious things, Tesla broke and then went to the second standard deviation. Right? That's an obvious thing. That's even better. That's a great obvious thing because second standard deviation, holy crap, that's great. Google is dipping down to that line again, and I hope it reverses down and goes lower. But if Google goes down to 151.31 and sees support, are you going to be shorting it? Right? It's literally, if you were thinking about buying and taking calls, right? Who did this? Tell me right now, earnings. Earnings is over here. Who on this day took calls on Google? If you took calls on Google here, and now you're down here, or maybe you invested in Google here, and now you're down here, you have a discount. What changed? You have a 6% discount now, right? You are in bullish context for the market. Looking for bullish trades in bullish times is easier. Looking for bullish and bearish trades is easier when you're negative gamma, when you're not taking back resistance and turning it into support, when you're instead seeing the resistance and seeing the weekly expected move there and seeing a divergence there, right? Are you at resistance right now? You're in the neutral area. You're neutral to bullish stance here still. You're neutral to bullish stance still. When was the time to short? Well, when you're more in this environment. Here is the long in that environment. Boom, long. Thank you to the charts, right? We caught that. 2, boom, short. Awesome, awesome blossom. And then you're paying attention to what after that? Everyone else is going crash, crash, crash. What are you saying? I have more skill than that. I look at multiple time frames. I look at the 2 hour. I see that from this move, the 2 hour is able to go positive. And I know that if that goes positive, I am always open to what? A higher low. That's why scenario number 1 was higher low for the 2 hour. It goes up to resistance. We say the same things we said here. Watch out if that thing confirms down, right? Watch out. But if it rejects and it goes against that 30-minute signal, then this is a good thing. And what did we do? We rejected the 30-minute signal. 30-minute signal, it broke down, convincing you to go short, but you're looking for what? A retest. The retest fails, but then at the end of the day, you curl up right here. You see the way higher with a new high. You see that that this curled up on the MACD by the center line into what? Positive territory. You see that the RSI is going above that center, And this tells you that all of this is failing this time. You're going to take back the resistance. And when you take it back, the resistance, you start to do what? Use it as, bam, support. 556.24 right there. So you're in still until you see things change. You are bullish neutral stance. It's okay to find yourself in a situation where you were overly bearish or overly bullish. It's perfectly fine. It happens to everyone. I would just say this, learn from it, right? You don't like feeling that way. If I don't feel good in a trade, what do I say, right? When people are like, what sometimes make you sell out? You know what one of the points is? If my gut feels bad. Literally, if I'm like, if a trade's making me feel bad, I'm getting rid of the trade. You've seen me do that a few times where like something went wrong. It made me feel bad. I was like, but we're at this critical level. Okay, it snaps back. Okay, now it's going to reverse and be good forever. That's what the signals would show. And I just go, I don't care. I'm out of it. I don't want to mess around with it. All right, 5 minute here. Still seeing that little bounce. Oh man, we're not even, maybe we don't even get to here. I really would like that reaction to 566 again. Apple's not going wrong anymore. Notice we're patient. Now this could go wrong. There's your dip down to try to make the move higher. There's your slight higher low to try to take it back. A lot of volatility coming in for a 5 minute chart. Still the opportunity, I think, to go down to 196. But this is good so far. It's not like a bad thing. Am I losing this? No. And look, 5 minute double bottom. Woo! Woo! Woohoo! Yeah. All right, let's go down. I want price to get down to here. Let me go to the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back in 2 minutes. All right, I'm gonna go say hi to Abuela as well. Be right back. Put you guys, yeah, you're on the spy. You're good. Hey, let's switch to the Qs for a bit. All right, there you go. Damn, missed out on saying hi to Abuela. I was hoping she brought out some of those like Ecuadorian friggin' corn pancake things. Would be nice. I can go for about. Allison's just laughing. I have no idea what they're called. I don't know. They're like pancakes made out of corn. They're freaking awesome. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see if we can head down into. Man, I would really like that 560 for the SPY. What is it for the Qs? Qs look like it's spot on to that daily expected move, by the way. I want to see which one would run more. I guess if we just take into consideration a monthly expected move, 6.67. SPY. 5.88. Interesting. Interesting. Let's stay on the Qs for a bit. I think their daily expected move will be like spot on. Yeah, I don't really want to take all this in. Technically, the block is more like here to here. Corn cakes. My wife likes Raisin Bran and she picks all the raisins out. I'm like, just get frickin' bran flakes, lady. No. Crazy person. How dare you disrespect sugary cereal that gives us diabetes by buying that cereal? How dare you? Oh my gosh. Empanadas? I don't know about that. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is they're freaking good, dude. Boiled potatoes cut, not too soft. Corn and peas. Your favorite barbecue sauce is absolutely awesome. Let's go. God dang it. I'm getting kind of hungry now. You guys are making dad hungry over here. Is that a 5-minute? Wait a second. Did I miss something here? Watch out if we make a little divergence here, actually. Kind of weird. Watch if this holds. Wonder if we see the flash move to fill the gap, but find out right here. Something's weird here. Something's changing in our first block here. Something's kind of changing in the momentum. Yeah, something's going funky here. Like funky as in it could hold up. Interesting. I'm just kind of staring at my screen right now. I'm like, this is weird. It looks like something might shape up here. I think we get a pump in the afternoon. Might be with you, Tony. I mean, this is actually best case scenario. Best case scenario is you just see negativity throughout the day. A lot of calls still. I'm still inclined to pay attention to down here for the Qs, right? 550, or I'm sorry, this is the SPY for the Qs, 482, 481.98. I'm just noticing some interesting things. Is it on the SPY too? Yeah, it's there as well. I'd like that to extend more for a bigger drop, even if we make the divergence. I really think I would like to see this, then maybe just this, or flash move down, then we start to head in the upward direction. Man, it's just weird that this is shaping up. So we might, it's kind of saying, it's suggesting, hey, we could leave the gap behind, right? Boom. Into something here that's higher than here. Okay, then. Like those organic zero, but you get 2 pounds for like $7. Ooh, VIX. What is VIX shaping up? Yeah, VIX still looks like it's geared up. I want to see VIX get the pop. Hopefully not too big of a pop. I don't want too big of a pop. 2 hour. Yeah, this is the worrisome time. Like as you're heading down, right? As we're heading down, we need to really watch if it shows us the way lower. We could see boom into boom, show us the way higher, refill, go again. Oh God, that would be crazy. That's if volatility increases. I'm not leaning towards that right now. You know what I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards using this or using this and going that way. One more low and pump end of day. That's kind of what I'm seeing. I would like the 5 minute to give more bait though. I don't want it to roll right now. I want it to be more bait. I'm gonna be hesitant. And then if it shows me the way higher, right? If we see a breakthrough, come back, redo it. If it shows me the way higher, I'll think about it. But I could see it too, Tony. I think this would be too quick. I think you want to see this fail, fill gap, then maybe we go. Extend this 5 minute. Bam, bam. That way you get into the zone with divergence. That would be great. There's 30 minute still teetering. 2 hour on edge as well, right? 2 hour very much so on edge. So let's stare at the 5 minute. I've got about 15 more minutes and then I have to go. Now let's keep watching the Qs though. We don't watch the Qs often. I think people are right to say like, hey, paying attention to the Qs is good. I've been really focused on the SPY, and I think the Qs have told us some things. I think you're correct. Lately, been seeing more buying pressure. My eyes may be deceiving me though. I see a pump going into weekend to start a little bull run. From this price action now, I think you would want to keep dipping into the later stages. That's why I'm not the most inclined to be like, oh yes, just buy it now. Down here, the risk to reward is a lot better. Down in here, the risk to reward gets a lot better, and you clear up the whole gap conversation. You just clear it up completely. And today are celebrating Mother's Day. I'll be out shopping for Mother's Day, unfortunately, today. I got a lot of things to do, and now Laws gave another big donation, so now I have to spend even more and buy her more flowers and more chocolates and more. I hate shopping, by the way. Got me a monthly long call. Yeah, I think month calls probably still sitting pretty. Hopefully able to reposition for the month out down in here, or at least with the break. Shows you the way higher. Retest into the top. Very good retest there. Oh, I do. 100% heel toe cam. I treat myself like shit, to be honest. The only time I treat myself well is because I'm like, well, I gotta be good for the girls, right? Gotta be strong for the girls. How many times Abuela comes over and says, Lucas needs to eat more. And I'm like, yeah. No, that's my wife is like the best gift giver in the world. It's kind of like her love language, whatever the fuck it is. So she killed Father's Day last year. Killed it. My first Father's Day. Exactly, heel toe. It's good for me. It's good for me to treat the girls good. And I'm probably not even the best, you know? I do the best I can. I feel so much comfort listening to you while trading these times. That's good. You should always try to be as level-headed as possible, right? Level-headed, think about things clearly. You will get emotional. That's fine. Just understand times where you're feeling emotional. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. Take its power away, right? Psychology. Use the therapist in Lucas, right? Say it out loud. Hey, I'm scared right now. I'm freaked out. And if you say that out loud, it'll say, maybe sit back for a second, right? All immigrants try. I know, right? They always do. Hate those times of emotion. Hey, learn to love it. You take a lot of power away if you learn to love it, right? That's part of what you're doing. You need a little thrill in every job, in my opinion. Look at gold. I'm kind of interested to see what gold does here. Ooh, oh, shit. We're going to hold up in the block. Fudge. One, using this zone again, very critical. 2, showing your face below this, but gapping above it. You see how important that center is? Very important there. 3, 30-minute is negative now. So if this rolls, be prepared for the lower end. Be prepared for a break. You're very range bound. And you're gonna get, oh, this might just get tighter for a while. Let's see if this gets tighter over time. It's only GLD, but let's see if this gets tighter over time. Let's see if it gets tighter. I don't want you to act like it's bullish or bearish or whatever. Could be forming a massive continuation flag. Continuation pennant, whatever you want to call it. Wow. Let's look at bigger. A lot of chop here. You always build in the middle for those reactions. We'll look for a break for new highs. Daily overall pulling down. Happy wife, happy life. Let's get some more flowers. All right. We'll get some flowers. I told her yesterday, I think it was Seabass that showed the roses yesterday, maybe. I told her yesterday, I was like, Seabass keeps giving me like $2 and $5 so that I have to buy you more flowers. And she's like, oh, good. Even though she's a plant lady more so, but. Stefan, thank you so much for subscribing today, by the way. Did I read that right? Yeah, Stefan. Yeah, she deserves it. She needed a break the other day, so I appreciate you guys, you know, respecting the fact that I needed a day where we couldn't make a video at the end of the day. Just give my wife that little break. A couple hours, 3 hours helps a ton. You have no idea. I bet parents have an idea, right? Parents have an idea. If you're hanging out with a kid for 2 weeks straight, and then someone gives you 3 hours off, you're probably like, thank God. You've been out of it for a little bit, Richard. Did you finish up your trip? Hope your trip went well. For this is still bullish context. This is not overly bearish. You did not see the rejection here, so this is still bullish context. You just made an upward move first, then you test in the zone. That is bullish context. So crazy, but you could be in a chop fest for gold now. See when it starts to contract again. Maybe looking at futures would be better, but for now, this is what you see on GLD. And I love it. It ends up going sideways. Ends up going sideways. Oh, come on, 5 minute. Don't go down now. Wait a little bit longer, buddy. Little bit longer. Little bit longer. Man, you see the battle going on here, though. You see the bulls here trying. I want them to fail, and then I want the big buyers to come in at that gap. Doesn't matter what I want, though. It matters what happens. What's the significance of it waiting? It's building. It's building to get to the better buyers, in my opinion, right? They stepped in here. These buyers right up in here, they stepped in, and then they stepped in again. That's why these are better, I think. These type of levels are better. So why would I want it to extend? Because I want a trap. I want people to believe it's going down. I want it to turn down, scare them out, and then I want that to turn up. And in order for me to see better things, I want to see that divergence down here now. So I want this to extend into like, 12:30 Eastern or like 12 Eastern would be great. Then you start to see that roll. Then we come down into these type of areas and we see if we can make that divergence point. So I'd like to see some positivity here, weirdly enough. That's for the best opportunity. If it wants to make that opportunity right now, it's actually shaping up. Breakout here, new block, right? This is why shorter time frames, it's just so much can happen. This is why I don't do it a lot of the time. It's because it's so much. You can easily confuse yourself out of a trade by looking at shorter time frames. But for now, you're seeing good things. You just tested into the center of this. Now you head up. This is what matters to me right now. If we show the way higher, then retest, it would say grab this. Whoa, Kurt, thank you for subscribing. Henry, thank you so much for subscribing today. Appreciate you guys being here. Everyone's negative today. It doesn't matter if everyone's negative. Look at the PCC. Pay attention to what they do, not what they say. This is why I don't like those bull bear surveys, because everyone was bearish in the survey, but everyone had calls. Oh, God. This is why, like, I started looking at it a few times, and I just realized why I don't look at it again, right? I don't care what you think, who you think is going to win the presidency. I care what money did when the election was happening, and you knew 3 hours before that Trump won. You saw it. You saw it in markets. They also probably survey the same people. The same people answer those surveys every time. And the same people could lie every time. Yeah, I want that build up. We might not get the build up. We just reject. See, 1 minute, this is where you get into it. This is why 5 minute is crazy. Because 1 minute, you have a block here. If you reject there, you should go for another test down in these levels. If you fail that, you're going to start seeing resistances down to these type of areas. There's just so much when you get this micro. How about when everything was in the abyss? Sipping half and half now. Ooh, wait, what? Ew. That's some thick stuff, dude. I mean, I like whole milk, but damn. My boy chugging half and half now. I'm gonna try to stick on. I'm gonna try to stay on, see if we can watch this together for just a little bit longer. I don't care. I have some time today that I can move around for, to stay on longer here for just a bit. I just want to see if we're gonna go down to that area. What's going on here? This is your pullback moment, potentially before the more likely thing is squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You have not seen the bearish things happen. It'll turn around. From what you're seeing from the 5 minute here, this is how you build up. This is actually very good. And now you're looking for potentially here, but you're so negative that you have to keep this on the table until we see things change. Things changing would be boom, maybe using that as support actually. That would be things changing. IWM will touch 199. I would think IWM would at least want to get down into here. It doesn't have to. If you see this produce a higher low right now, then you're going to get some kind of test of here most likely. The first test into the information you have didn't go well, which means continuation more probable, but watch for if things start to change. SPY and the Qs are at the critical spot, the first critical spot, or the first area where the buyers could step in. IWM is not, but it can see it right using other indices to see when, or it could have a delayed reaction, right? IWM, small caps. You could see delayed reactions. All right, here we go. See if the 1 minute retest is going to get it right. 1 minute retest would say 566.50. If you make the new high here, then you potentially could go directly to 566.50. If you break out from there and start to squeeze, you're looking for pullbacks at that point on the 5 minute to make a decision, I think. VIX is about to cool, says Sid. I'm still seeing it remain just kind of flat. If it's flat and moves down, we'll watch. God, I want to see that second. I want to see a second dip. I want to see that fifth dip on the 5-minute here. I just want to see that bigger dip from the 30-minute. If this doesn't, by the way, if this doesn't go down to here, I might practice patience. I already have some money exposed over on the Apple side of things. So, how is Apple doing? Ooh, didn't show you the way lower. That's good. Trying to hold up. Rolls and loses the low. We're watching out for this. Not bad. Okay, here we go. Come on. Show us the way forward or the way down. 305, 306 today is very very high up. You're more so inclined to look for when we would retest, which could be soon, right? We might not have much time according to Tesla, but Tesla can move on its own. First area you want to test is here. Second area is actually all the way down here, but we have this big block, right? Big block in here. So all you have to do is keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. See this, break out, boom, boom. That's what you need. That would be fantastic for the 5-minute. This is how you get another test of 306. But 306, great. Second standard deviation, we got to say thank you to the data. That's a 5-minute, though. You're still bound to see maybe even a 30-minute retest, but I think it could hit 328.50 by next Friday. If we shape things up right, I'm not trading it. That's just a thought. That's kind of a prediction, right? It has no trade on my end behind it. I want to be very clear. If I thought it was a great opportunity, I would take it. I am not someone who likes to trade Tesla too often, and we did not show the way higher again. We're rejecting from the same point, even just a tiny bit lower. See a bit of upside here. I think you would say just paying attention to here is very good. Right, so it kind of matters what you do here. Yeah, right there. Right about there. I would like to test there and then see what happens. The USA would be so good for them. Closed markets don't work anymore. Trump posted 80% tariff on China. Seems right. Up to Scott. Yeah, we saw some of that. We saw that second part. Tesla is crazy. What up, SWAT like? How you doing today, buddy? You evil cat. Isn't Elon supposed to be done with Doge soon? Didn't he say like mid-May he'd be done or late May? Okay, here we go. Now let's see. We made the new point. Let's see if we get through this. Then you're pretty much like, hey, we're going to here. Get through it. Get through it. Just do it. It's confirmed. Its divergence is there. Yes, but take into consideration you're not in the same environment you were in 2 weeks ago. You're still at levels that can cause squeezes, right? The short isn't until over here. You have to see the market prove that it wants to go down before you make big downward bets. Right now, the market is just saying 30-minute pullback. You have those divergences, very obvious. We're mentioning it yesterday. But what is still the more probable thing with the environment you're in? Bullish to neutral. So bullish or neutral for now makes the most sense still. Here, risky. Now that they've shown you the way, not as risky anymore. But if it would happen, we would pay attention. And then this is the time where you go, okay, it showed me the way lower. Now it showed me it's going to go lower. That's when you make a decision. Shorting at this moment, it can work. I'm not saying you have to be wrong. I'm just saying waiting in an environment like this, it can go against you. Right? I don't need to catch the exact top of things. I don't need to catch the exact bottom of things. I just need to understand where this would react to be bearish and where it would react to be bullish, and then go from there. News has been pretty effective in the market lately. I would say since 2022, it's been very, but I ignore news, so. The money tells you what you need to see. It literally told you 30 minutes before. We put it on Patreon. 30 minutes before he announced the pause, and you saw that rip of 9% or something in the SPY. 30 minutes before it, we posted a video saying there's something that's going to happen here because you're confirming 30-minute divergence. It confirmed the divergence. I think it was 45 minutes after the video was posted. 30 minutes later, you confirmed. About 15 minutes later, he announced the pause and you ripped up by 9%. The money can show you. Someone always knows before you do. Not technically a new high of day, though. Right, here's your high of day. We start to see that pathway forward. A lot changes right now. Good job, true story. Yeah, it's true, you know? That's the thing. I think money tells you. And if it doesn't, it's going to tell you before the news is going to pile it on. The news isn't going to tell you, even though this is all bad news, people are going to go long here because it might be priced into the market. You will not hear that from them. They might say those things way up here to tell you the opposite, right? They're going to tell you risk, risk, risk before some kind of massive squeeze. That's what I think. They're going to post negative, negative, negative before squeeze. And you're going to see a couple of pieces of good news, and then they're going to start to talk good, 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 and then we'll fall. I used to utilize VWAP. I think VWAP's great for day traders and things like that. I think you can utilize it for looking for certain areas to pay attention to, just like other things we utilize. I think VWAP is a good thing that you can utilize, yes. Do I use it right now for my trading? No. No, I'm very much understanding the trend, understanding the environment, and then looking for the times in a bullish trend. Okay, looking for those little pullbacks. That's all you really have to do. Understanding price action can help you with those buys if you want to start risk to rewarding. I like confirmations if you're early on into trading. See, I like it for pullbacks to use for a day trade. A lot of people see like they'll make a VWAP that's bigger, a bigger time frame VWAP, say a weekly to a daily, and then they'll find that area where you get consolidation almost in between and look for a break. That's how position, I think, would do it. But people do that on day trading side of things as well. Not necessarily. We were paying attention to pre-market levels the other day. We were paying attention. Remember that pre-market level here or the extended hours here? We were paying attention to this. And that's why this was critical, and it showed you the way lower, but really this was just FOMC, grab all your fucking stops and then shoot it up, right? It easily could have been the opposite. FOMC day, very difficult day to trade. You got to be quick with it. Very good day for degens, but it showed you the way lower, which is crazy to me. But this more so might not be a show of the way lower. It might be take everything down here out, then rip it. Yeah, you can utilize this. It's just I don't trade that way, right? You just have to take some of the things that I say a little bit differently. If your strategy involves extended hours, I think that's perfectly fine. If you made it work, that's great. I don't do that. I'll pay attention to it. I'll more look at futures markets for certain things. Like the futures market 4-hour divergence on the SPY right now that says we're going to head down really fast. If you take that into consideration, you don't understand the environment you're in, you're going to get really bearish here when you're still seeing very bullish things. Yeah, I kind of like that explanation. Team trading strategies. News boosts momentum of a move already determined, in my opinion. And usually it's pretty damn late or obvious. Hey, you see a 5% move up in the SPY. What do you think the news is going to tell you? They're going to tell you the good thing that was there yesterday. They're going to tell you why it moved up, but it's always going to be delayed. Paying attention to how the money moves is much better. You do see the pathway up still. Thank you, Lucas, for making me a better trader after a year of following you. It greatly helped to add to my skills, i.e. divergence, implied moves, etc. That is fantastic, Sid, and thank you so much for the $5. Really appreciate that, buddy. I just hope to continue, right? Continue to be helpful. Never complacent. Once you reach that level of complacency, you start to do bad things, right? So let's not be complacent. Let's always be this guy. Always be critical of me. Always be critical of me. If what I'm saying does not make sense and you think it's totally wrong, tell me. I want to know. Because I want to know what you're seeing and see if you are right and I'm wrong. Right? The point of this is to be helpful. It's not to be right all the time. So thank you for that, Sid. And make sure that I continue to be helpful into the future. All right, Sid? Yeah, Jomo, big W for Sid. News is like a magnifying glass. Yeah, it's kind of like they always tell you why you went up over the last few whatevers, and then they're going to show little negative things at certain times, right? Get you nice and bearish. And then they're going to tell you something really, really positive at the top, and then you're going to drop. And then they're going to tell you why you're dropping really fast to get it to continue to get you bearish, negative. And then you're going to make a 30-minute high or low, and then you're going to squeeze. League DJ, that's facts, Papa. I played League last night. I'm playing ARAM tonight. My wife wanted to play, and it's her weekend. She wanted to play some ARAM tonight. Apple needs to pump. I kind of agree with you on that. I think Apple needs to see that positivity. It's probably going to lag for some... Like, Apple's more of it's waiting for maybe China, but people might price that in, meaning try to price in the future of those type of things. Hell yeah, GG's. GG easy. I got pretty high rank in Summoner's Rift. I just, my thing was, I would always be like 17-5. And then there's one dude up top that's mad because he didn't win his lane and he just throws the entire game. That's what I think is wrong with Summoner's Rift. You look at PCC, low, call buying. Yes, this is kind of PCC as well. It's still bullish for it to be on the call side. I would like people to get trapped. That is the best case scenario for the squeeze to explode, is for people to get trapped. So I would like to see a little 5-minute bull trap here. Hence, I would like to see rejection at 566.41. I would like to see rejection there. I would like to see us come down into here where people lose hope and they start reading into the bait, right? What's going to put you there? Hey, price is going to go like this. People are going to go, why is it happening? Why is it happening? I'm going to go look at the news. The news is going to say all the bad things that already happened. And then they're going to be convinced that it's going to keep happening. And then you could turn around and then the news will tell you up in these levels, oh, it's good. This is a good thing. And then they're going to tell you it's a good thing forever, and you're going to keep going up and up and up, and then you're going to experience a pullback. That's how I would like it to shape up. That's the mentality and psychology I'm reading into. I would like to see a little bull trap today. We've already kind of seen one. Remember, that's why we were focusing on the zone the whole time. You could have squeezed right now, though. You tapped into it once. Just wasn't enough. Couldn't make the new high. You couldn't show the pathway higher. Now you're seeing the pathway higher. That's why I think this level is critical right now. I think a lot of gaming industries, a lot of gaming companies are in trouble. I'm actually the most worried about Xbox. I am the most worried about Xbox. Their sales, percentage of sales in the market right now for games that are sold on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, they have the least percentage for Xbox. Xbox is in trouble. They're trying to be the Netflix of gaming. I think it's a fun thing. I think it's a cool thing. But they're starting to early on realize, oh shit, we're losing, potentially $60 every single time we put a new game on that. So people aren't wanting to buy the game after they play the first few levels, kind of thing. That's not good. Game Pass is the problem, Tony. So what people are doing is a game costs 60, say 60, and then they're putting that new game though on Pass, right? On Game Pass, which means they only have to pay $15 to play all of these new games. And then if they want to, and that just gets you, I think, like 20, 25% of the game. But what that's causing is people are going, I played 25%. I don't want to buy the rest. So they're losing a massive amount of margin by letting people test the game, right? It's kind of like if you don't have skin in the game, right? The more skin in the game you have, if you bought the game for $60, are you going to finish the game? Yes. If you played 25% of the game for $15, are you going to finish the game? It opens the door for no. That's not a good thing. The better thing that they could do is use a nostalgic method, like look for projects that are cheaper, like say Final Fantasy 9. Try to make a version of that, make it nostalgic, and say we're going to complete a portion of the game and you get to play it for $15. And then you come out with the full game for like $50. I think that would be better. You come out with the second half of the game for $50. You kind of, I know it's sneaky, but it is cheaper. You're pretty much giving away half the game for $15, but you're making up the margin with the second half of the game. And you don't have to make it as extensive as the second half, per se. So you don't have to use like the full value in here. AKA your margin could be better on a $15 Game Pass. But you would only want to do that every once in a while. The problem that Netflix is having is the movies. They're having to produce so much movies themselves, their content, or buy other content. And that's why Netflix is not necessarily the recipe for like super success. If they were the recipe for super success, you would have never seen commercials on Netflix. Well, and that's the thing, Papa. It's not a force. It's not a force. You got to play the game for free for 2 hours. That's awesome, right? That's the free method, right? You have to agree with that. That is good business, showing you value up front, right? YouTube here, this is all free. This is all free. All of it. All of YouTube is free, right? This live show right now, it's free. That's a good thing. I give probably the maximum amount of free stuff that I can, before it starts digging into my time too much. But yeah, giving away things to people is the best method. Show them the value. And if they find it valuable, they will continue. You're not going to get 100% conversion rate after all those people play 2 hours. Out of 100 people, people would play for 2 hours. maybe 50%, maybe even 25%. No, I get what you're saying, though. In order to play the game, you're forced to purchase it. Here we go. We didn't even make it there. We could be testing still, right? We have not seen a break. Once we break this, it kind of says, yeah, we'll test into here. If we break this, I think you're saying down into this block. We'll pay attention for whenever that 5-minute divergence shapes up, though. We might see that wick down to 561. Quality is the key. That's right. What is so? Do you guys want to know marketing wise what I used to market for restaurants as well? Do you know what I used to tell them to new businesses? Give away free shit. I'd say you want them to try your food. Give them an absolute reason that they can't not try your food. Oh, okay, we didn't lose the low. Hold on. This is where it gets sneaky. So once you say, hey, someone came in on their own free will, awesome. Hey, you really like the chicken, you have to try the steak. You come in, you bring your wife, the steak's on me, come try it. Boom, you got them to come back a second time. The second time they come in, they go, oh my gosh, the steak was good. Was the steak? Oh, that's fantastic. You literally have the owner of the business do this, by the way. Makes them feel special, right? And you want to treat every customer as special. They're giving you their hard-earned money. Don't disrespect your customers, right? Then, once they have the steak, you go, I'll tell you what. You have the steak. You come back. You come back on Saturday. We're making these new desserts. They're going to be freaking amazing. Come back on Saturday, get yourself a nice meal with your wife, and I'll give you guys some desserts. Completely on me. Here's my card. Bring this in, show it to them, say, this guy wanted to give me a dessert. Okay, awesome. Give them something tangible too. Then they come back. They order, one orders the chicken, one orders the steak again. They go, man, this was even better. Is it better the second time? Oh, awesome. I'm glad it is up to your standard. That is fantastic. Is there anything else on the menu you want me to talk about? Anything you've been looking at? Yeah, I've been looking at this. Talk to them. Okay. Then, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I almost forgot. I don't know if you guys mentioned it yet, but I told you guys I was getting you guys some free desserts, right? Okay. Go bring them the dessert. All right, now you've caused them to come back 3 times. You've created at least a good incentive towards your business. And then you've also created a habit to come back to your business, to walk through those doors. And they like the food. It's still good for them. I'm not a fan of telling people this chocolate bar is good when it's a piece of shit, you know? Calling my shot. SPY retest the bottom side of VWAP and drops. Total guess based on 30-minute MACD. 30-minute MACD, that's why we're on 5-minute. We're just kind of looking at price action. Did not make the pathway lower. Did not make the pathway lower. Not yet. We'll see if it does. I'm still inclined for this to, it's flagging for sure. This is how you get to this test without seeing extreme positivity. Have a good week. Mad Dog, if you're leaving, have a good weekend, all right? SPY will go to 550, hopefully tonight. It's a possibility with the VIX signals you see. That would be a very sneaky thing. Very sneaky. On our way plumbing, let's go. I used to market for a plumbing company too. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that. On our way plumbing, thank you for being here today, bud. Thank you for subscribing. Why hopefully what? I've been talking too much. I already forgot what I was talking about, Marco. Waiting for Trump to make it happen. That's probably how it happens, exit. IWM, please hit 199. These are the only things freaking me out. I mean, you're seeing the pathway lower. You haven't seen the pathway higher. You see the pathway lower, right? This is where divergence can change things. You do have it here. I don't know why all the indices have this. IWM starting to make it, but I still would like IWM to come into 199.74. I would agree with you, and I would love for IWM to go down. I would love for IWM to go down all the way to here, 197. That doesn't seem the most probable today. Oh, 194 is probable for the week, but for the day, 198. So whoever keeps shouting out 199, I'll help you out. 198, which is way, way, way down here, would be a critical level. Okay, if you can make it all the way there, say thank you to the daily expected moves. That's what I would say. Dennis, thank you so much for subscribing, bud. Apple, you still in? Yep. Nothing has triggered for me for Apple. Yes, it is trying to confirm down on the 30-minute. I am going to be very loose with it. I'm going to be paying attention to, does it show me the pathway lower without confirming a divergence? That's going to take into next week, but nothing here has changed. If you're really nervous, then when you lose 197, if the risk is too high, okay, because just like everything else, Apple tested into the first block, but you have that second block that would be the better test. This is why more so paying attention to, does it give me a test here and show me the pathway higher, is a great thing for Apple. So I'm personally choosing to assume risk here. I had great trades with the SPY. I am choosing to assume the risk and say I'm not going to be out until 193, and I could lose 20% with that type of thing. So that's my decision. Find what's best for you. Ah, dang. Yeah, now it's starting to break through. Show the pathway lower. Sebastian, thank you for the 2. Thank you for daily expected moves. There you go. I was, man, but it's too critical. I can put off fucking. My wife's not gonna be happy about it, but I'll put it off for 30 minutes. One of the DGen gamblers. Let's go, Tony. Pretty bear day. This is a pullback, but yeah, bears are probably liking this so far. Just watch for the end of the day if it ends up being turning a bear day into a bear trap day. Yes, spoos. Who the fuck calls it spoos? Show us 470 today. What the hell? What the hell? Nah. 470 is, I won't say impossible. I will say very improbable, with maybe like 10 to 20 varies behind that. Let's go 430. Okay. 561 demand, here I come. This is what we're waiting for. This is pretty good. You extended it for a little bit of time. I would have liked more of an extension. There is the chance that before we keep breaking, you break, you retest, you go again. We'll see. I think 561 to 560 is still the area to watch. You're looking here to here. You're still looking at the low to this high right here. So anywhere in here is pretty nice. As long as you're not breaking through that, you're good. And look how, like, it looks big on a 5 minute. It's relatively small, right? Relatively small here. So the perfect move for the SPY for a perfect trap would be this line right there. 558.58 would be the perfect trap if it shows up to be one, right? If it's heading down this fast, you got to be worried about break, roll, right? As of right now, we're just looking at it. We have not broken this low. As of right now, we're looking at it going, okay, if we're going to see the pathway down, you've given me the pathway up. You failed the retest here. Are you going to fail the retest into here? Those are your two levels to watch. And then you see if we can extend. I would love for it to extend and then wipe people out. And then we start to see volatility go boom, boom, boom. And I would say 561 is better. I would, oh man, this would be crazy. I'm going to be patient for this though. Only thing I want to hold on to is Apple unless SPY gives me the, or the Qs give me the great buy. I was fishing on the lake. Okeechobee. Ooh. Okay, Chubb. While listening, what's up, Bernie? I hope you're having a good one today, man. I'm trying to stick on as long as possible here to see what's going on. Heading higher, want to take back this. Once you break through this, if you would break through, retest here or here, head higher, you can kind of see. We'll see. I would like a rejection. Bam. All the way down. Maybe we even make new signals. That would be great. All the way down. That would be, ooh, all the way into end of day. That is best case scenario for a massive squeeze next week, weirdly enough. As you see the buyers step in down here at the end of the day. It starts to ramp. You see the way higher. It beats the highs. Ooh. That'd be nice. Let's catch a little squeeze action if we can, right? We're still looking for it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Don't we have bearish divergence on the Q SPY? Yes, Nazim, we do. If you want to see us talk about that, go watch the video from last night real quick, Nazim. What's very important here is when you're seeing those signals, what environment are you in? You are seeing divergence on VIX. You are seeing divergence on SPY. You are seeing it on the Qs. You are seeing it on the IWM. You are seeing it on the DIA all at the same time. What ruins that is the price action is not showing you the way down. It is saying in the macro side that you are still in a bullish to neutral stance here. You're waiting for that to go full bull. If it doesn't go full bull, then you're probably going to see it start to go what? Bear. This is what you have to see. This shows you the pathway down. You do not see that pathway down right now. Right now, you see it as, you know, potentially a 30-minute pulling back. That's it. So the most likely thing was to continue to pull back today. Could have squeezed right away this morning, by the way. Just could have. It went back into the zone. Could have done it if the buyer stepped up. Kind of glad it didn't. I like the fact that it's pulling back longer. Need to improve my price action analysis. Yeah, and if you go back, we've been doing a lot of price action things for the last 2 weeks. I'm going to put it into the course, Nazim. I'm trying to work on that when I get free. It's just Mother's Day is causing me to, and all these live streams and the YouTube videos and updating Patreon. It's just, you know, I'm one guy, and then my trading as well. It's like, man, that's why this channel kind of encourages me to just take profit earlier, because it benefits me more to do you guys, you know, to take a profit on a trade, have a good trade, manage a trade, don't worry about a trade, try to help you guys out. I'm not in a market where I'm trying to make like massive amounts of money, but I am paying attention to when this bull run starts. It's always fun, Tony. That's right. It's always a good time, whether it goes up or down. Are you still holding Apple? Yep. Yep. So the way you know I'm selling Apple is right here. 193.30. I'm literally going to not necessarily degen it, but I am going to, you know, be very loose with it. That is my choice. If you are dealing with smaller amounts of money or risking too much, I would be looking at management of the trade. The better thing to do if you're at lower amounts of money is everything we talk about in the course, managing money early, looking for the reversal again. Right? Once something goes wrong and goes against your rules, your reasons, that's when you react. For me, I have the ability, because of, my, I guess you would say, privilege over consistency over time. I have the privilege of being able to be like, hey, I can hold through some volatility. I can choose to assume that risk. You don't have to. It really comes down to position size a lot of the time. Sneaky 5-minute here. Let's celebrate Nazim. Thank you so much for the $3. 10th super on the live stream. My goodness gracious. Hope you're doing good, Nazim. Really do. Oh, you get some new subs? That's good. We always like new subs. Tell them to come in and say hi, Bernie. Smash is like, red apple, green apple. Which one you want to bite? Whichever one the witch gives us is the one we're biting. No. The witch tries to give you a green apple. It's secretly red. It's a trap. Rejection. First point of rejection. Second point of rejection. For the 5-minute here. 2 more likes to 100. You guys are liking the video today? Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. We like to hear that. That's dope. Thank you for liking, guys. I never want to turn into the guy that's like, what's up? What's going on, YouTube? Make sure to like, subscribe. I probably am that guy, though. I feel like everyone on YouTube is. I'm gonna start doing the most cringe, like and subscribe things in my videos. I'm gonna put like dirt all over my dogs. Be like or subscribe so you can find this new dog, this puppy, a home. And put like sad music behind it. Your explanations are awesome. Hey, that's good, TR. I'm glad that they're clicking, right? If they're not clicking, ask questions, right? Chris did, Maddie. He was looking for that break. He might have took on some risk before the break just to be like, hey, I think it'll happen. It's got the signals for it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Tony. Do something like that. In the arms of the angels, they subscribe to Triple M. How about a Meet Kevin impersonation? All right, guys, let me tell you what's going on today. I've watched like 2, maybe, sometimes I watch them for comedy, but I've watched maybe, I would say in my whole life, 4 Meet Kevin videos, and every single video has some music, and it's super annoying. Sorry to annoy you guys. What indicators are we using? We're using MACD, RSI with a signal line. We have a 5-day stagnant here. You see 5-day moving average, so we can see it on the shorter time frames. We aren't really utilizing too many of the moving averages except for the 9. I don't know why, but yes. Tesla fading the jump was the most likely thing. It is coiling. 5-minute taps into this zone. Actually, even better, don't even tap into the zone. And boom! See that upside move. Right? See that next upside move. Weirdly enough, this can project higher to 510 now. With this pullback here, let's see. Let's see if things are good. Let's see if we can prove more of this. You're not down into these levels yet. You might wait for the test of the zone, but it can hold up better. 5-minute curls up. What do you see? I see the blocks where we reject from. I see the high we can reject from. Always treat it like a block. And then if it shows you the pathway higher, 310, retest, maybe big retest, fill the gap. But overall, 5-minute goes like this, good things. I mean, well, obviously. Okay, this was stupid to say, good things. 5-minute curls up here. Good things could be starting. Got to make it through this, and see that pathway higher. That way you know, hey, if 310 is where I'm supposed to get this week, that could pull back. If it starts squeezing, it starts squeezing. Tesla's kind of its own beast. A little bit of flagginess here. Nothing too worrisome. Oh, Bernie, thank you for the $20, dude. You know what I'll do? I'll go buy some ammo, and then I'm coming to your gun range. Yeah, if you want to see, it's pretty basic settings. 12, 26, close 9. Time frame chart. RSI, and you can go back in the video, just pause it during this. 14, close. Calculate divergence. Ooh, fun. SMA 14.2. I might take a look at that. I don't know why I've never seen that before. It's probably not good, but we'll see. It's too convenient. No, please take care of your wife on Mother's Day. Hey, she likes to shoot too. She doesn't have the best safety. Since someone said parameters, I'll use that word. But she likes it. She's pretty good when she takes her time with it. Just reloaded Tesla with better strike than this morning. Just be aware that 306, right, Chris? Be aware of the 306. Be aware of the gap beneath you. Retesting into the zone is still a good thing on the 30-minute for Tesla. A retest will most likely shape up here soon. I mean, I don't know about this, but a squeeze up to 328 without getting this retest at all would be weird to me. At least show that dink into this area. That would be nice. If not now, later. Or, you know, it can not at all. It's Tesla. Like I said, it's its own beast. Holy crap. All right. All right. I think I do have to get out of here, unfortunately. Let's see if we get those lower prices. We'll see what happens. We know how we break down. We know how we break to the upsides to set up the squeeze. You're in an area where you could set up a squeeze right now. But I tried to give you as much time as possible today. I really wanted to hang out with you guys, make sure we're understanding what's going on here with the environment we're in, with those bad signals you are seeing. Just understand they're not proving anything bad yet in the price action, okay? So hopefully you guys had a great day. Thank you so much for all the donations today. You guys were very generous, and I really appreciate you guys giving back to the channel. Hopefully that means that we were helpful throughout this week. Hopefully we can continue to be helpful on this channel over the weekend so we can be prepared for next week as well as we go into options expiration on that Friday, okay? So we're looking at some things today. We're looking for those opportunities. If the opportunity doesn't come, sometimes the best thing to do is say, hey, I'm going to miss out, but my rules, my reasons, they're not there. It's perfectly fine. A trade will set up with enough patience, okay? Have a great week and have a great Mother's Day. Even you fathers out there, I hope you guys have fun with the mothers. Hope you have fun with your kids. Hope you have a great, great weekend. Make sure to get out there and do something fun. If you're going to dedicate yourself to some learning, hey, the course is 80% off if you're not a mother or father or you're not celebrating it for some reason, right? It is there, but I more so encourage doing some fun things, touching grass, getting that pent up emotion out of yourself so you can come into the early stages of the week really prepared for what is lying ahead of us, okay? Thank you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.